Chapter 4000. Evil King, how do you think our Lord will get the Array Dao books from the Lin family after he enters? After all, the Lin family is a huge family. Their foundation and strength is not something our three demon families can compare to. I'm afraid. Yimo King's eyes flickered. Before he finished speaking, he was stopped by Heavenly Devil Evil King. Heavenly Devil Evil King looked coldly at Yimo King and said in a deep voice, "You and I both know how strong our Lord is. Why do we need to worry about this?" Yimo King was shocked. Thinking of Zhuowen's terrifying methods, he quickly cupped his hands and apologized. Suddenly, a vast aura rushed out from the inside of the divine ship. The rolling aura was like a wave, rushing up to the sky and then fiercely slamming down. The ship that was originally moving smoothly was violently shaken by this vast aura. It could capsize at any time. Heavenly Devil Evil King and Yimo King staggered. They quickly used their divine devil power to stabilize their bodies and at the same time resist this terrifying aura. What a powerful aura! Could it be that our Lord has broken through? Heavenly Devil Evil King said in shock. The Yimo King also had a shocked expression on his face. This aura was too vast and mighty. Even he felt tiny in the face of this aura. The vast aura came and went quickly. The ship that was originally shaking also regained its stability. Only the sound of wind and snow was left. The interior of the divine ship slowly opened, and a young man with a calm expression walked out. The youth's eyes were shining like bright stars. When Heavenly Devil Evil King and Yimo King looked at the youth, they only felt their eyes ache. It was as if there was a sharp sword piercing through their eyes and into their souls. "Congratulations, Lord, you have broken through again." Heavenly Devil Evil King and Yimo King quickly knelt on the ground and congratulated Zhuowen in unison. Zhuowen's lips curled up. He had indeed broken through. With the help of many divine pills and elixirs, he smoothly broke through to the middle stage of the divine devil transformation realm. But because of this, he had almost exhausted all of his cultivation resources. The current him could be said to be poor. At the same time, Yuan also lamented the terrifying consumption of his own cultivation resources. Even an ordinary cultivator who broke through to the ancient star transformation realm would need more resources than him. Zhuan was very worried about his future breakthroughs. According to this consumption method, if he wants to break through in the future, wouldn't he need even more resources? This is not a good thing for him. However, the benefits of breaking through are real. His strength is almost 10 times more terrifying than when he was in the early stage of the divine devil transformation realm. Get up. How long until we reach the Lin family? Zhuowen waved his hand, allowing the Heavenly Fiend Demon King and Demon King to stand up, and asked casually. Heavenly Devil Evil King said respectfully, "Reporting to my lord. There are still 3 days." Hearing this, Zhuowen nodded. He instructed the Celestial Demon Evil King to inform him when he arrived and returned to the cabin. After Zhuowen left, Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King let out a sigh of relief. Lord Dao Lord Demon. I heard that he just broke through to the divine devil transformation realm not long ago, and now he broke through again. I'm afraid his strength is much more terrifying than before. Yimo King said in awe. The Heavenly Devil Evil King nodded in agreement. Even he felt that Zhuowen's breakthrough speed was inconceivable. Was this still something a normal cultivator could do? Thinking of this, the two of them are even more in awe of Zhun. 3 days later, the ship finally arrived at Lingyun City. Lingyun City is a huge city under the control of the Lin family. This city is extremely vast, much larger than the island where Hongwu Shengzhen was located. Rather than a city, Tuan King feels that this city is more like a large tribe. The buildings inside are densely packed, and the population is endless. It is very prosperous and lively. Lord, we have arrived at Lingyun City where the Lin family is located. Heavenly Devil Evil King respectfully transmitted to Zhuowen. Zhuowen King walked out of the cabin again and looked at the huge city in front of him. He nodded and then looked at Heavenly Devil Evil King and said, "The person you agreed to meet is also from the Lin family? He can bring us directly into the Lin family?" Heavenly Devil Evil King respectfully said, "Lin Danshan is the third in command of the Lin family. His position in the Lin family is not bad. The last time I came to visit the Lin family, it was him who recommended me. Zhuan King nodded and did not say anything. When the ship landed at the city gate, there is a middle-aged man who has been waiting for a long time at the gate. He immediately came up to welcome them. "Brother Heavenly Devil, it's been a long time. This Lin has missed you." The middle-aged man is Lin Danshan. As soon as he arrived, he enthusiastically chatted with Heavenly Devil Evil King. Heavenly Devil Evil King also enthusiastically replied and introduced Lin Danshan King and Zhuoan King. "So you are one of the 3 demon family heads, Demon King. Nice to meet you. This Lin has long heard of Demon King's name. Seeing you today, you really live up to your name." Lin Danshan King smiled and shook hands with Demon King. As for Zhuan King, he just casually glanced and nodded as a greeting. He did not show any enthusiasm. Clearly, in Lin Danshan King's heart, Zhuan King should be a follower of Heavenly Devil Evil King and Demon King. Heavenly Devil Evil King saw that Lin Danshan King was neglecting Zhuoan King and was about to remind him, but he was stopped by Zhuoan King's gaze. He came to the Lin family this time to borrow array formation books, not to abuse his power. There was no need to expose his strength and identity. As long as Heavenly Devil Evil King could settle this matter, it would be best if he did not need to show himself. Heavenly Devil Evil King naturally understood Zhuoan King's meaning and kept quiet. Under Lin Danshan King's lead, they entered Lingyun City. Lin Danshan King did not come out alone this time. He was accompanied by a beautiful girl with big eyes. The girl's big eyes noticed Zhuoan King and she could not help but come up and ask curiously, "Boy, are you the son of Heavenly Devil Evil King or Demon King?" Zhuoan was stunned. He did not expect the girl to take the initiative to talk to him. However, he did not want to waste time, so he did not answer the girl's question. "Are you mute? Since you don't speak, then I guess you are neither the son of Heavenly Devil Evil King nor Demon King. You are a child they picked up. Am I right?" The girl giggled. "Sorry, you guessed wrong. I am the master of Heavenly Devil Evil King and Demon King. Both of them have to listen to me." Zhuoan King shook his head. He did not want to waste time with the girl and followed Lin Danshan King and the others into the city. "Master? This boy really likes to brag." Chapter 4001. What a powerful restriction formation. The moment he entered Lingyun City, Zhuowen immediately sensed the ripples of an extremely powerful formation restriction flowing around the huge city. The fluctuation of this formation was extremely vast, and it practically covered the entire city. It was like the most loyal protective barrier, and it enveloped the sky and the surroundings of the entire city. Zhuowen also realized that the formation was so complicated that he could only understand a part of it. One had to know that he was a heaven-breaking level 8 formation master. If even he couldn't understand it completely, it could only mean that the formation restriction of the entire city should be a heaven-breaking level 9 formation. Zhuowen's eyes glowed with excitement. It seemed like the Heavenly Devil Evil King was right. The Lin family of Lingyun City really had a heaven-breaking level 9 array Dao master. He could really find the corresponding heaven-breaking level 9 array Dao book here. Lin Danshan brought them to the center of Lingyun City. It was a luxurious mansion. This was the core area of the Lin family. Only the direct descendants of the Lin family lived here. The big-eyed girl followed behind them unhappily. She was very interested in Zhuowen and kept trying to talk to him along the way. Unfortunately, Zhuowen only gave perfunctory answers like N or O, which made the big-eyed girl very unhappy. "Brother Sky Devil, you've been to the Lin family before. You should know the rules, right? You're here to visit the Lin family's forefather, right?" Lin Danshan turned around and smiled at Sky Devil Evil King. Sky Devil Evil King wasn't surprised. He quickly took out a golden ore from his spirit ring and handed it to Lin Danshan. Supreme-grade golden brilliant stone. This is one of the materials to make a Heaven Breaker level 8 formation. "Brother Sky Devil, you're too kind." Lin Danshan looked at the golden brilliant stone in Sky Devil Evil King's hand and said politely. He quickly put the golden brilliant stone away. Sky Devil Evil King wasn't surprised. Every time he came to the Lin family, he would bring something good for Lin Danshan. That way, he could build a good relationship with Lin Danshan. It would be more convenient for him to ask Lin Danshan for help in the future. Brother Lin, other than visiting the Lin family's forefather, I have another favor to ask of you. Sky Devil Evil King cupped his hands and said. Lin Danshan took the golden brilliant stone and said with a smile, Brother Sky Devil, as long as it's within my ability, I'll definitely do it for you. Sky Devil Evil King said, Brother Lin, your Lin family is the #1 formation family in the Hishu realm. There are many Heaven Breaker level 9 formation masters in history. For example, this old ancestor of yours is a Heaven-breaking Tier 9 formation Dao Divine Master. No. I wonder if I'm lucky enough to borrow your Heaven-crushing 9-stage array Dao book? The smile on Lin Danshan's face instantly turned gloomy when he heard this. He coldly looked at Heavenly Demon Evil King, his brows slightly furrowed, and said, Brother Heavenly Demon, your request is a bit too much. I cannot satisfy you. Even I haven't reached the peak of the Heaven-breaking level 8 array Dao level. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to come into contact with such ancient records, let alone you. Hearing this, the Heavenly Fiend Demon King frowned and couldn't help but look at Zhuowen behind him, as if asking for Zhuowen's opinion. Zhuowen naturally heard Lin Danshan's words, but he wasn't surprised. After all, a Heaven-breaking 9-stage formation Dao book was indeed very precious. It would be strange if the Lin family would hand it over so easily. Zhuowen secretly transmitted his voice to the Sky Demon Evil King. The latter nodded and continued to ask, Brother Lin, is there no other way to borrow the Heaven-crushing 9-stage array formation scriptures? We are willing to pay a sufficient price to borrow your Lin family's array Dao books. After all, Lin Danshan had taken Sky Devil Evil King's item, so he said embarrassedly, There is a way, but it's usually only for our Lin family's disciples. If Brother Heavenly Devil wants to try, I can get it for you. What do you think about this quota? What is it? Sky Devil Evil King quickly asked. Brother Heavenly Devil, you must know that our Lin family has a formation pagoda. Sky Devil Evil King said as he pointed at the gigantic pagoda behind him. This formation pagoda was built by our Lin family's ancestor. There are a total of 100 floors. He once said that if anyone can pass the 100th floor, they will receive a promise from the Lin family. In other words, you can ask for anything you want from our Lin family. What kind of request? Our Lin family will definitely fulfill our promise and fulfill your request. Lin Danshan looked at Sky Devil Evil King, waiting for his reply. Sky Devil Evil King's expression changed slightly. He had naturally heard of the formation pagoda before. He also knew that it was very difficult to pass the 100th floor. Since ancient times, other than the Lin family's ancestor, no one else had passed the 100th floor. Although Sky Devil Evil King didn't doubt Zhuowen's strength, he still didn't think that Zhuowen had the ability to pass the 100th floor. So he was a little hesitant. Lin Danshan saw the hesitation on Sky Devil Evil King's face and knew what the latter was hesitating about. He whispered, Brother Heavenly Devil, this is the only way I can think of right now, so you should think about it carefully. As long as you can get a spot, we will naturally agree. Zhuowen suddenly said. Lin Danshan looked at Zhuowen with a puzzled expression. In his view, Sky Devil Evil King hasn't even spoken yet, so why are you, a junior, interrupting? All right, if Brother Lin can get a spot, we will be willing to pass the formation pagoda. Sky Devil Evil King nodded. Lin Danshan nodded and then led the three of them into the Lin family. After arranging a place for them to stay, he hurriedly left to arrange the spots for the formation pagoda. As for the girl with the big eyes, Lin Danshan arranged for her to stay behind and let the three of them familiarize themselves with the Lin family's environment, as well as some places they could go and some places they couldn't. Zhuowen and the other two finally knew the girl's identity. She was Lin Danshan's daughter, Lin Fuxin. When Lin Fuxin brought Zhuowen and the other two to familiarize themselves with the Lin family's environment, she was surprised to find that Sky Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King seemed to be a little nervous when facing Zhuowen. Moreover, there was a look of respect in their eyes. Lin Fuxin couldn't help but think of what Zhuowen said to her before, but she quickly shook her head and muttered in her heart, How is that possible? Sky Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King are the strongest in the Liyuan main domain. How can they? Chapter 4002. A few days later, Lin Danshan came to the courtyard where Zhuo Wen and the others were and brought good news. Lin Danshan had gotten a spot for the array pagoda and the time was set to be 3 days later. Brother Lin, thank you for your hard work. Heavenly Demon Evil King said happily. Zhuo Wen, who was standing at the side, also revealed a slight smile. Although he had never seen the array pagoda before, he was very confident in himself. With his talent under the primordial stone, there might not be anyone in the entire 100 domains who could compare to him. This array pagoda should not be too much of an obstacle for him. Brother Heavenly Demon, this is the array pagoda entry token. 3 days later, you can enter the array pagoda with this token. Of course, if you can't hold on, you can use this token to teleport yourself out. But once you come out, the token will lose its effect. Alright, you only have this one chance. Lin Danshan took out a green token and handed it to Heavenly Fiend Evil Monarch. Heavenly Demon Evil King took the token and said with a smile, I'm not the one to challenge the array pagoda. Lin Danshan was stunned and couldn't help but look at the Hybrid Demon King and said, Is it this brother Hybrid Demon? Heavenly Demon Evil King still shook his head. This made Lin Danshan's expression become strange, and he couldn't help but look at Zhuo Wen on the other side. Brother Heavenly Demon, you must be joking. Don't tell me you want to give the opportunity to enter the array pagoda to this junior? Lin Danshan said with a smile. Heavenly Demon Evil King nodded and said, Yes, this lord is called Dao Wen. He is the most qualified person among the 3 of us to challenge the array pagoda. Lin Danshan and Lin Fuxin noticed that Heavenly Demon Evil King had called Zhuo Wen Lord, and his attitude was extremely respectful. This made the 2 of them puzzled. This was especially so for Lin Fuxin. Her beautiful eyes were fixed on Zhuo Wen. She finally understood that what Zhuo Wen had said to her back then was not a boast, but a fact. The Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King really might have recognized this person as their master. Otherwise, the 2 of them would not be so respectful to Zhuo Wen. Lin Danshan was even more confused, but he didn't ask any more questions. He glanced at Zhuo Wen and shook his head, thinking that there was no hope for Zhuo Wen to pass the 100th floor since Sky Fiend Evil King gave this chance to this kid. Lin Danshan and Heavenly Demon Evil King chatted for a while, then left, saying that they would meet again in 3 days. Time flew by and 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Zhuo Wen opened the door and found that the Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King were already waiting for him in the courtyard. Let's go! As Zhuo Wen spoke, he led the 2 of them out of the courtyard and walked towards the array tower not far away. The array tower was located in a square in the center of the Lin family. The array tower was square in shape with distinct edges and corners. Extremely powerful array Dao ripples flowed on its surface like the rolling waves of the sea. There were quite a few people in the square, all of whom were young disciples wearing the Lin family's uniform. These young disciples went in and out of the array tower. They had heard from Lin Fuxin that the direct descendants of the Lin family were qualified to challenge the array tower. Many of the Lin family's disciples entered the array tower to cultivate array Dao. Because the array tower contained a powerful array Dao origin, it could greatly increase the speed of one's understanding of array Dao. Therefore, many of the Lin family's disciples had their own place to cultivate in the array tower. Of course, most of the Lin family's disciples only cultivated in the lowest level of the array tower. Only a few talented disciples would go to the higher levels. It was said that the Lin family's ancestor had broken through to the 99th floor of the array tower, shocking the entire Lin family and even the Bright Mist main region. And in the formation pagoda, the higher the number of levels, the higher the talent. Their future achievements would definitely not be too weak. For example, the Lin family's ancestor had broken through to the 99th floor and was now a heaven-breaking level 9 array Dao Divine Master. Heavenly Demon Brother. When Zhuo Wen and the other 2 arrived at the square, they met Lin Danshan and Lin Fuxin. At the same time, there was a middle-aged man beside the 2 of them. The middle-aged man was wearing a purple robe. He looked slightly plump and had a mustache. Brother Lin, Family Head Lin. Heavenly Demon Evil King noticed the middle-aged man in the purple robe and was slightly surprised. He cupped his hands and greeted the middle-aged man politely. The middle-aged man in the purple robe was the current family head of the Lin family, Lin Longyao. It was said that he was a heaven-breaking level 8 array Dao divine master. His cultivation was unfathomable and he was an extremely powerful person. Ah, heavenly demon brother, you are too polite. You and I are acquaintances. There is no need to be so formal. Lin Longyao laughed and waved his hand. He continued, I heard that you came to the Lin family to challenge the array tower. Is it this little brother? As he spoke, Lin Longyao's gaze fell on the indifferent Zhuo Wen. His small eyes silently sized up Zhuo Wen as he shook his head inwardly. He did not see anything special about Zhuo Wen. Heavenly Demon Evil King did not dare to delay and quickly agreed. I wonder how many levels this little brother can pass? Lin Longyao asked faintly. Zhuo Wen glanced at Lin Longyao and smiled. I naturally came to challenge the array tower for the 100th level. I also hope that after I pass the array tower, the Lin family can keep their promise and agree to a request of mine. Lin Longyao and Lin Danshan were stunned. They did not expect that the young man in front of them was not modest at all. He actually said that he could pass the 100th level of the array tower. This was too much of a boast. Lin Danshan saw that Lin Longyao's expression did not look too good. He coughed dryly and winked at Sun. Little brother Daowen, you may not know much about the array tower. Since ancient times, only our Lin family's ancestor has passed the 100th level of the array tower. Our current ancestor only made it to the 99th level. Little brother, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Lin Longyao snorted coldly. But Zhuo Wen did not mind in the slightest and said coolly, what your ancestor can't do doesn't mean that I can't do it. Lin Longyao's expression turned even colder. The young man in front of him was seriously too arrogant, too egotistical. Was this sentence mocking their ancestor? Little brother, since you're so confident, how about you and I make a bet? Lin Longyao said with a cold smile. How does family head Lin want to bet? Zhuo Wen said rather interestedly. The bet is very simple. If you can't pass the 100th level, then you have to leave behind the most precious thing on you. Lin Longyao said coolly. Zhuo Wen's gaze narrowed. He looked at Lin Longyao coldly and said with a grin, if I win, can your Lin family hand over your Lin family's most precious thing to me? Lin Longyao said confidently, our Lin family won't lose. Furthermore, how can you compare to our Lin family? You probably haven't even seen our Lin family's most precious thing before. Zhuo Wen smiled coldly and said, then let's be fair. As long as I win, not only does your Lin family have to agree to my request, but you also have to give me a treasure of the same value as the most precious thing on me. How about that? Hearing that, Lin Longyao gave Zhuo Wen a glance in surprise. He did not expect that this kid was actually so confident. This kind of sure-lose game still dared to bet with him. He did not think too much either and agreed. Chapter 4003. Sky Devil Demon King and Hybrid Demon King frowned. After all, they were guests from afar and had even handed over something as precious as the golden brilliant stone. However, the head of the Lin family had shown Zhuo Wen his power as soon as he arrived. This made the two of them feel uncomfortable. However, since Zhuo Wen did not say anything, the two of them could not say anything. On the other hand, Lin Danshan was rather embarrassed as he looked at Sky Devil Demon King apologetically. Regarding the matter of Heavenly Devil Evil King and the others wanting to challenge the Array Pagoda, he had only casually mentioned it to Lin Longyao, but he did not expect that Lin Longyao would actually be interested and follow them to meet Heavenly Devil Evil King. Originally, with Lin Longyao's status, it was unlikely that he would care too much about a junior like Zhuo Wen. Unfortunately, this kid was arrogant and did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Thinking of this, Lin Danshan looked at Zhuo Wen indifferently and shook his head. He had completely treated Zhuo Wen as a hothead. He actually dared to say that he could pass the 100th level of the array tower. Let's see how this kid will deal with this later. Please, little brother. I am looking forward to your results of reaching the 100th level of the array tower. I hope you won't disappoint me. Lin Longyao glanced at Zhuo Wen indifferently. His words were full of mockery. Zhuo Wen did not care at all and calmly walked towards the array tower. There were many Lin family disciples entering and exiting the array tower. These Lin family disciples had long seen Lin Longyao and Lin Danshan not far away. Especially when they saw a junior like Zhuowen talking to Lin Longyao, many of the Lin clan disciples couldn't help but turn their attention to this unfamiliar youth. This person is so unfamiliar. He doesn't seem to be a Lin family disciple. He shouldn't be. Looking at him, he should know the head of the family. He should be an outsider's junior who obtained the opportunity to enter the array tower. The Lin family disciples discussed animatedly. Although the array tower was a private property of the Lin family, it was very famous in the Heshu realm. Many of the leaders of the major forces would pay a huge price to let their talented juniors enter the Lin family's array pagoda to study. Therefore, it was not strange for the descendants of the Lin clan to see outsiders enter the tower. In terms of formation Dao prodigies, there are very few juniors of the other great forces in the Heshu domain that can compare to our Lin family. Didn't Huxley send a genius to challenge the array pagoda last time? But it stopped at the 66th floor, and we stopped there. The 70th floor of the Lin clan's eldest senior brother Lin Jingtian is still a long way off. Of course. Even Huxley's prodigy can't compare to our eldest senior brother in terms of formations, let alone the juniors of the other major forces. This kid looks ordinary and mediocre. I think he should be thanking the heavens and earth if he can pass the 20th level. 20 floors? I think you've overestimated it. I think even the 10th floor will be difficult enough. The disciples of the Lin family discussed animatedly while sneering as they watched Zhuowen enter the array pagoda. Zhuowen naturally heard the discussions around him clearly. However, he did not say anything and only sneered in his heart. There was a huge stone door at the bottom of the array pagoda. Beside the stone door was a groove. The groove's shape was exactly the same as the token in Zhuowen's hand. After Zhuowen placed the token in the groove, the stone door creaked and turned. Then, the stone door did not open. Instead, a complex array as tall as a person appeared on its surface. Zhuowen could see that this array should be a teleportation array. After Zhuowen put away the token, he strode into the array and disappeared into the stone door. In front of the square where the array pagoda was, there was a huge stone tablet. The surface of the stone tablet was flowing with various kinds of light. Upon closer inspection, the light formed the shape of an array pagoda. It was divided into 100 levels. Within the light, there were light spots on every level. The higher the level, the fewer the light spots. The light spots spread to the 70th level, where there was only one light spot. Above the 70th level, there were no light spots. Lin Longyao brought everyone to the front of the stone tablet. He smiled and said, "The light spots on the stone tablet represent the number of people in the array pagoda. You can clearly see the record of the array pagoda." Lin Fuxin's big eyes blinked. She immediately noticed that on the first level, all the light spots were red. Only one light spot was white. "Uncle, why is this light spot white? It's different from the other light spots." Lin Fuxin pointed at the white light spot and asked curiously. Lin Longyao smiled and said, "Our Lin family's direct descendants token to enter the pagoda is different from the token to enter the pagoda for outsiders. As long as it is a disciple of the Lin family, a red dot will be displayed in the pagoda, while this white dot represents the token of outsiders." "Oh, so that's how it is. Then this white light spot is the Dao rune." Lin Fuxin suddenly realized. "Hehe, whether it's a mule or a horse, I think we'll know soon. I'm looking forward to this junior reaching the 100th level." Lin Longyao laughed mockingly. Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King's faces were ugly. They stared at the white light spot, feeling nervous. Zhuowen's strength was indeed very strong. However, it did not mean that his array Dao level was also strong. If he failed to pass the pagoda, they would all lose face. Not only Lin Longyao and the rest were paying attention to the stone tablet, many of the Lin family's disciples were also surrounding the stone tablet. They were also paying attention to the white light spot. Their eyes were filled with schadenfreude. Just now, the news of Zhuowen's bold words about wanting to pass the 100th level of the array pagoda had unknowingly spread among the crowd. Many of the Lin family's disciples were scolding Zhuowen for being too arrogant. There were even many gossips around, secretly belittling Zhu. They all hoped that Zhuan would fail. Then, when he came out, they would wantonly ridicule this brat who did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Heavenly Devil Evil King frowned slightly. He looked at Lin Longyao, who was opposite him. He guessed that the Lin family's disciples knew about this news. It was most likely that Lin Longyao purposely leaked it out. Zhuan, who had entered the Array Pagoda, naturally did not know that many people in the outside world were looking down on him and cursing him. He was currently on the first level. What a magical Array Pagoda! Zhuan stood on the spot. He discovered that the surrounding environment was not the space within the pagoda. Instead, it was formed by many densely intertwined rays of light. Zhuan was not unfamiliar with these rays of light. They were all formed by Array Dao energy in a certain pattern. Moreover, in this space, he could clearly feel the intense Array Dao ripples and Dao rhymes. However, the Array Dao ripples and Dao rhymes on the first level of the Array Pagoda were very thin. To a God Array Dao master like him, it was basically useless. Chapter 4004. The second level was similar to the first level, but the array formation ripples and Taoist rhyme were slightly stronger. Zhuan did not stop there. He followed the invisible stairs and went up. 10th level, 20th level, 30th level, 50th level. When he reached the 50th level, Nguyen felt a slight pressure. This pressure was contained within the array formation ripples and Taoist rhyme. Zhuowen knew that this pressure existed on every level of the formation pagoda. It was just that his level of formation Dao was too high, so when he was below the 50th level, this pressure was negligible to him. That was why he didn't feel it. As the number of floors increased, the pressure also increased explosively. When he reached the 50th floor, Zhuowen finally felt a trace of it. This pressure is still too weak for me. Let's continue up. Zhuan shook his head and continued to climb up the stairs. His speed did not change at all. He did not slow down at all because of the increase in levels and the increase in pressure. At this moment, in front of the stone tablet in the plaza, many disciples of the Lin family were in an uproar. Damn, are my eyes playing tricks on me? This guy has already reached the 50th level. And his speed did not slow down at all? Where did this kid come from? His array formation skills are so high that he can reach the 50th level. And it looks like he's still going up. The disciples of the Lin family were in a heated discussion. The gloating in their eyes faded away and was replaced by shock. Lin Fu's eyes widened even more. She muttered, although this guy is good at bragging, he still has some ability. Lin Longyao frowned slightly. He was obviously surprised that Zhuan could reach the 50th level. However, he quickly relaxed. So what if he reached the 50th level? When he made a bet with this kid, he said that he would reach the 100th level. That was the top level of the tower. Even their ancestor could not do it. He did not believe that an outsider could do it. Zhuan naturally did not know about the reactions of the outside world. He climbed the stairs without stopping at all. His speed was very uniform. Although the pressure grew stronger with the increase in levels, it was not much of a hindrance to him. When he reached the 70th level, he started to feel some pressure. The Array Dao spirituality here was much denser, which was of some help to Zhuan. However, he knew that this was not enough. Thus, he raised his right foot and immediately climbed to the 71st floor and even higher floors. However, the moment he left the 70th level, the square outside was in an uproar. This guy actually reached the 70th level. This is Lin Jingtian's record. How did he break it so easily? Looks like we've underestimated this kid. Eldest senior brother is still in the alternate space on the 70th level. Once this kid surpasses him, eldest senior brother will probably sense it immediately. Lin Longyao frowned slightly, and there was a hint of surprise in his eyes. He didn't expect this Zhuan to be able to pass through the 70th level. Could it be that this kid's level of Array Dao has already reached the peak of the 7th level of the heaven-crushing stage, or the 8th level of the heaven-crushing stage? The most talented descendant of the Lin family, Lin Jingtian, was a God Array Dao master at the peak of the 7th level of the heaven-crushing stage. However, he only managed to reach the 70th level. Although this record was set a long time ago, And Lin Jingtian might be even stronger now. Lin Longyao's face was still dark when he saw that this kid had stolen his limelight. Look, eldest senior brother Lin Jingtian's light spot is moving. He must have realized that his record has been broken and is planning to fight back. It's true. Eldest senior brother Lin Jingtian's record was set 10 years ago. He must have cultivated for 10 years, and he must have made some progress. He definitely won't lose to this kid. Everyone in the square was in an uproar. They all noticed that the red light spot representing Lin Jingtian started to move after the white light spot reached the 70th level. At this moment, in another alternate space on the 70th level of the Array Pagoda, a handsome young man in a green robe suddenly opened his eyes. He was the most talented descendant of the Lin family, Lin Jingtian. The badge on his waist was flickering and vibrating nonstop. This token also recorded the information of the tower. As long as someone caught up to your record, the token would immediately alert you. This was also a method used by the Lin family to motivate the younger generation of the Lin family. It would increase the competitiveness of the younger generation and arouse their fighting spirit. This way, the younger generation would have the motivation to improve and the overall strength of the younger generation of the Lin family would increase. Lin Jingtian took out the token and scanned it with his divine thought. Immediately, he saw a strange white light spot on the 70th level. Moreover, this white light spot did not stop after reaching the 70th level. It continued to move towards the higher levels. Lin Jingtian's eyes narrowed. He knew what the white light spot meant. This was the sign of an outsider, not a member of the Lin family. Who would have thought that there would be such a genius in the outside world? It's a pity that you met me. I have cultivated for 10 years and have finally broken through to the early stage of the heaven-breaking rank 8. You are no match for me. Lin Jingtian's eyes were filled with pride. He then stood up and walked towards the stairs in the corner. He quickly climbed up. In one breath, Lin Jingtian reached the 80th level. His speed immediately slowed down and his face turned pale. After all, his Array Dao had just broken through to the heaven-breaking rank 8. It was already very good that he could reach the 80th level in one breath. He knew that in his current state, it was basically impossible for him to go further. The pressure on the 81st level was too terrifying. It was not something that he could withstand. I reached the 80th level in one breath. This outsider is definitely not as good as me. He is at most lingering around the 70th level. Lin Jingtian was very proud. He took out the token and looked for the white light spot. With a glance, he was immediately dumbstruck. The reason for that was because he discovered that the white dot of light had already ascended to the 90th floor at some unknown time. How is this possible? Where did this guy come from? How did he reach the 90th level? Lin Jingtian exclaimed. That was the 90th level. In the entire Lin family, only Lin Longyao could reach the 90th level. The other Array Dao divine masters of the older generation could not do it. However, an outsider had done it so easily. Who is this guy? At the 90th level, Zhuowen's face turned solemn. This was because he realized that the pressure was starting to affect him. A mere 90th level is not enough to stop me. Zhuowen shook his head. He stepped forward and reached the 91st level. It was obvious that this time, his speed had slowed down. The pressure on the 90th level had indeed created some obstacles for him. However, it was not enough to stop Zhuowen. He continued to move forward slowly. Finally, he stepped onto the 99th level. Boom, boom, boom. Instantly, the entire space was filled with thunderous explosions. The terrifying Array Dao ripples and Taoist rhymes were like the most violent waves in the world. They swept across the area and drowned Zhuowen. Chapter 4005. 90th floor? Could it be that my eyes are playing tricks on me? On the square, the disciples of the Lin family gathered around the stone tablet, after a short moment of silence, erupted into a monstrous clamor like a tsunami. Everyone found it hard to believe that a mere outsider could reach the 90th floor of the Formation Pagoda. Was this heaven-defying? He actually reached the 90th floor. Although this guy likes to brag, he really does have some ability. Lin Fuxin's jade-like hands lightly covered her cherry lips, her beautiful eyes filled with shock. Lin Danshan's pupils shrank, while the smile on Lin Longyao's face froze and faded by a lot. Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King looked at each other and couldn't help but reveal a smile. Master really didn't disappoint them. He actually reached the 90th floor. Looking at this situation, perhaps he really could reach the 100th floor? Thinking of the wonderful expressions on Lin Longyao and the others' faces if Zhuan really reached the 100th floor of the Formation Pagoda, the two of them were filled with joy, and the previous depression had completely disappeared. Humph. He does have some ability. Unfortunately, I bet with this kid on the 100th floor. As long as he doesn't reach the 100th floor, it's useless no matter how high he reaches. Lin Longyao naturally saw the expression on the faces of the two and coldly snorted. Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King frowned slightly, but didn't say anything. In their hearts, they hoped that Zhuan would definitely reach the 100th floor and completely slap Lin Longyao's face. Look, the white light spot is moving again? How is this possible? It's already above the 90th floor, how can his speed still be so fast? Suddenly, an extremely violent clamor came from the field. Then, under everyone's incredulous gazes, the white dot of light rushed up to a higher level at a rather fast speed. 91, 92, 95, 97, 98. In the end, the white light spot stopped at the 99th floor, and the entire square was completely silent. 99th floor. This was the record of their Lin family's ancestor. But what kind of status did their Lin family's ancestor have? He was a heaven-breaking level 9 array master, standing at the peak of the entire Hishu region. Yet, a mere outsider junior had actually ascended to the 99th level. This was simply too illogical. How did he do it? Lin Fuxin and Lin Danshan could no longer hide the shock on their faces. They stared at the white speck of light as their bodies stiffened, as if they had been frozen. Lin Longyao, on the other hand, was dumbfounded. His face suddenly became gloomy, and his heart was a little flustered. He didn't think that Zhuan would be able to reach the 99th level. Doesn't this mean that Zhuan's talent in arrays is not weaker than the Lin clan's ancestor? One had to know, being able to ascend to the 99th level, one's future accomplishments were bound to reach heaven-breaking rank 9. This was a true super genius. Inside the tower, Lin Jingtian, who was on the 80th floor, stared at the token in his hand. His body trembled as he knelt on the ground and muttered to himself, "How is this possible? Apart from the ancestor of our Lin clan, there is actually someone else who can reach the top. The 99th floor. That's impossible." Lin Jingtian could not believe what he was seeing, but he had to believe that someone had reached the 99th level of the array tower, and it was an outsider. Suddenly, Lin Jingtian noticed that the white speck of light in the token did not completely stop. Instead, it started to move again. His pupils constricted as he thought of an unbelievable possibility. Is this person trying to reach the 100th level? At that moment, on the 99th floor, Zhuan naturally did not know that his performance had caused an uproar in the outside world. He stood in the alternate dimension on the 99th floor, frowning slightly. The pressure here was extremely terrifying. It was as if the entire sky had collapsed, pressing down on his body, making him feel extremely pressured. Crack, crack, crack. With every step he took, there would be the sound of his bones dislocating. It was extremely horrifying and ear-piercing. However, Zhuan laughed heartily. The array formation Taoist rhymes here were too rich. The rolling Taoist rhymes were like high-quality nutrients, nourishing Zhuan's understanding and understanding of arrays. His comprehension ability was already very terrifying. As he continued to comprehend these Taoist rhymes, his array Tao level invisibly increased rapidly. As expected of the array pagoda. With such powerful Taoist rhymes, cultivating array formation here is simply twice the result with half the effort. Zhuan was drenched in sweat, but his eyes shone with an unbearable light. It was as sharp as a knife, as vast as the sea, and extremely deep. Being surrounded by such powerful Taoist rhymes, his array formation skills were improving rapidly. It did not take long for his array formation skills to rise from the early stage of the heaven-breaking level 8 to the peak of the heaven-breaking level 8. As he continued to improve his array formation skills, he became more and more proficient in dealing with the pressure here. Ha! What a great place! Zhuowen roared with laughter. At this moment, his bent back had suddenly straightened, and he was like a pillar that could hold up the heavens and the earth, causing him to be extremely extraordinary and formidable. After his array formation skills rose to the peak of the heaven-breaking level 8, he was finally able to completely resist the terrifying pressure on the 99th floor. If the 99th floor of the array pagoda can bring me such a surprise, then what about the 100th floor? Zhuowen's gaze landed on the staircase in the corner, his eyes bursting with an excited light. Perhaps, after he entered the 100th floor, he might be able to directly raise his array formation skills to the heaven-breaking level 9. Thinking up to here, Zhuowen suddenly took a step out and walked up the first step of the staircase. Immediately, a horrifying pressure swept over like a storm, crushing down on Zhuowen's body one after another. Zhuowen gave a muffled groan, a trace of blood seeping out of the corners of his mouth. But the excited light in his eyes became stronger and stronger, walking up step by step while laughing loudly. His injuries became more and more severe, but his laughter became louder and louder, more and more rampant. How can a mere 100th floor's pressure stop me? Zhuowen raised his head to the sky and laughed loudly. Suddenly, he took several dozen steps in a row, crossing that step of the staircase, and entered the 100th floor. Puchi. The moment he entered the 100th floor, the pressure instantly increased several times. Zhuowen suddenly fell to the ground, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Zhuowen's gaze was solemn. He immediately sat cross-legged on the ground. Rolling god-fiend power surged, turning into clouds that surrounded his body, protecting him from being eroded by this pressure. At the same time, he greedily comprehended the powerful Taoist rhymes of this 100th floor. The Taoist rhymes here were really too rich. Zhuowen practically didn't need to carefully comprehend and could continuously improve his array formation skills. If he comprehended seriously, the speed of his array formation skills would reach an extremely terrifying level. According to this speed, he would probably be able to completely comprehend the heaven-breaking level 9 array formation skills within a few hours. Chapter 4006. Just as Zhuowen was in the process of comprehending the Tao, the square outside was in an uproar. The 100th floor. This guy entered the 100th floor. Oh my god, since the establishment of our Lin clan, other than the first-generation ancestor, no one else has entered the 100th floor. Now that countless years have passed, someone actually did it, and it's an outsider. In the square, everyone was discussing animatedly. Their voices were deafening, as if a bomb had exploded among them. The noise was simply too loud. As expected of Master, as he said, he really entered the 100th floor of the Formation Pagoda. The heavenly fiend Evil King and the hybrid Demon King were stunned at first, then revealed looks of endless admiration. Now, the two of them were completely convinced by Zhuowen. Not only was the latter's strength monstrous, far surpassing the two of them, but his array Tao had also reached an unprecedented level. He was simply a monster among monsters. Lin Longyao's face was very stiff, as if he had seen a ghost. Family head. Lin Danshan carefully came to Lin Longyao's side and reminded him softly. Lin Longyao came back to his senses and said in a deep voice, "I'm fine. It seems like I underestimated this Tao rune. Is really a genius." Although Lin Longyao was unwilling, he had no choice but to admit that Zhuowen was a true genius. After all, to be able to reach the 100th floor and surpass their Lin clan's ancestors' record, what was he if not a genius? If they did not admit it, wouldn't they also deny their Lin clan's ancestors' record? Lin Danshan and Lin Fuxin looked at each other and sighed softly. In the end, things had developed to this stage, which was far from what they had expected. They still remembered how the young man was spouting nonsense at that time, and no one believed what the young man said. Now, when they thought about it, they only felt a burning pain on their cheeks. The young man was not boasting, but he indeed had the ability to do so. It was them who had mocked him without realizing it. Suddenly, a strong wind sound came from the depths of the Lin clan. Everyone looked up and immediately saw a white-haired old man in a long robe walking in the air. The old man had the demeanor of an immortal, white hair, and a youthful face. His entire body was full of energy, and with every step he took in the air, a clear formation appeared in the void under his feet, as if it was connected to the heavens and the earth. The square, which was originally noisy, instantly quieted down a lot when the old man arrived. The moment when the Lin clan's disciples saw him, they were filled with reverence. The 75th Lin clan's Lin Longyao greets the ancestor. Lin clan's ancestors, Lin clan's ancestors' 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 ancestors'. The old man was the ancestor of the Lin family. He was also one of the few heaven-breaking level 9 divine formation masters in the Hshu realm. Lin Yashin only nodded at Lin Longyao, but his sharp eyes were still fixed on the white light spot on the stone tablet. He pointed at the white light spot and asked in a low voice, "Who is this?" Lin Longyao's eyes flashed, but he still answered honestly, "Ancestor, his Daowen. He's from the Liyuan main region." Someone from the Liyuan main region? To be able to pass the 100th level of the formation pagoda? Excellent, excellent. He's an unprecedented genius. Lin Yashin's eyes shone with divine light, and his voice was calm but with a hint of excitement. Lin Longyao's face was gloomy. He knew that every time Lin Yashin showed such an expression, it meant that he had taken a liking to Dao Wen and would probably take him in as his last disciple. At that time, as long as the old man was happy, he could even remove him from the position of the Lin clan's head and let this outsider be the new head of the Lin clan. However, Lin Longyao was also helpless. He knew very well that the person who really made the decisions in the Lin clan was never him, but the ordinary-looking old man in front of him. He controlled the life and death of everyone in the Lin clan. If he wanted you to live, you would live. If he wanted you to die, you would die. Let's wait for him to come out first. Lin Yashin stood silently with his hands behind his back. His eyes were fixed on the 100th level of the formation pagoda, and there was a strange light flashing in his eyes. The heavenly devil evil king and the hybrid demon king frowned slightly. They felt that the atmosphere was a little strange, especially Lin Yashin's eyes. It was as if he was looking at a rare treasure, which gave them a bad feeling. When Zhuan passed the 100th level of the formation pagoda, not only was the square shocked, but the disciples of the Lin clan who were originally in the formation pagoda were also shocked. Almost all the disciples of the Lin clan who were in the formation pagoda chose to leave the formation pagoda. They all wanted to know who had passed the 100th level of the formation pagoda. Lin Jingtian was also among them. His face did not look good. Not only was his record broken by the white light spot, but the white light spot also broke the records of many people in the Lin clan like a hot knife through butter. In the end, it surpassed the record of the Lin clan's ancestor. It reached the 100th level. This made Lin Jingtian feel a sense of defeat, so he wanted to know who this guy was. However, when Lin Jingtian left the formation pagoda and came to the square, he saw Lin Yashin surrounded by people. "Ancestor? I didn't expect the ancestor to be alarmed." Lin Jingtian was shocked. He knew that the ancestor of the Lin clan was extremely secretive and mysterious. Now that he had come out of seclusion, it was obvious that he was here for the white light spot. Thinking of this, Lin Jingtian felt a little jealous. "Jingtian, you're out too. Come and greet the ancestor." Lin Longyao's eyes were sharp. When he saw Lin Jingtian, he immediately called him over. Lin Jingtian did not dare to delay. He quickly rushed over and bowed respectfully to Lin Yashin with a look of admiration. Lin Yashin looked at Lin Jingtian and nodded. "After so many years, you have improved a lot. Your formation skills are already at the early stage of heaven-breaking rank 8. Work hard and it won't be a problem for you to break through to heaven-breaking rank 9 in the future." Having said that, Lin Yashin looked at the formation pagoda again, his face full of anticipation. Chapter 4007. On the 100th floor of the formation pagoda, countless formation Dao runes transformed into sharp and bright rays of light, interweaving into extremely complicated light trajectories. Zhuowen's expression was calm as he sat on the 100th floor. His eyes were bursting with a light that was difficult to look at. Waves of indescribable powerful Dao runes overflowed from his body like layers of powerful tsunamis, surging out violently. It was very impressive. This formation pagoda is really magical. Such rich formation Dao runes actually allowed my formation Dao level to reach such a level in just a few hours. Zhuowen's heart was filled with joy. His formation Dao level improved extremely quickly. In just a few hours, he went from mid-stage heaven-breaking level 8 to half-step heaven-breaking level 9. Moreover, his comprehension had already reached the heaven-breaking stage 9 level, but the reason why he had not been able to step into the heaven-breaking stage 9 level was that he had not set up the heaven-breaking stage 9 level great formation, and the second was that he had not read the heaven-breaking stage 9 level formation records. If he could read the heaven-breaking level 9 formation Dao book, his formation Dao level would be completely perfected, and he would be able to set up a heaven-breaking level 9 formation immediately. From then on, he would officially step into the ranks of heaven-breaking level 9 formation Dao Divine Master. Thinking of this, Zhuowen revealed a playful smile and muttered to himself, "Now that I have ascended to the 100th floor of the formation pagoda, according to the Lin family's rules, you must agree to one of my requests. You must not refuse. The Lin family's heaven-breaking level 9 formation Dao book, you won't refuse to let me read it this time, right?" Zhuowen slowly stood up. He silently looked around at the countless formation Dao runes around the 100th floor of the formation pagoda and said in a low voice, "It's time to leave." After speaking, Yun took out a token and pinched a seal. Then, the token burst out with a blazing white light. These white rays of light transformed into white lines that interweaved into an extremely profound formation, forming a circle around Zhuowen's body. Then, under the light of the formation, Zhuowen completely disappeared from this place. The moment Zhuowen reappeared in the square, it caused a burst of noise and exclamations. "He's out. So this is what the white dot represents. He doesn't look very old. This person looks a little ordinary. I can't see anything special about him. How did he manage to pass the 100th level of our Lin family's array tower?" The gazes of a considerable number of Lin family disciples fell on Zhuowen in unison, and they discussed while pointing at him. Zhuowen frowned slightly. He didn't expect that there would be so many people watching him as soon as he came out. This made him feel a little strange. What he didn't know was that his performance in the array pagoda was clearly seen by these people through the stone tablet. Zhuowen immediately saw the heavenly devil evil king and hybrid demon king standing in front of the stone tablet. At the same time, he also saw an old man with an immortal aura. Behind the old man, Lin Longyao and Lin Langshan were respectful and submissive. He glanced at the old man and walked toward the heavenly demon evil king and the hybrid demon king. Wherever he passed, the surrounding Lin family disciples subconsciously made way for him, not daring to be impudent. Just like that, Yun calmly walked to the front of the stone tablet. The surrounding Lin family disciples were all staring at Zhuowen with different gazes. Lin Jingtian frowned slightly. He was not convinced, especially when he saw that Zhuowen didn't look like much. His dissatisfaction grew even stronger. "Sir." The heavenly devil evil king and the hybrid demon king quickly went up to welcome him. Now, the two of them were completely impressed by Zhuowen. It was fine if he was so strong, but they didn't expect his array skills to be so heaven-defying. The two of them couldn't help but be impressed. Zhuowen nodded and then looked at Lin Longyao. He smiled faintly and said, "Patriarch Lin, now that I have passed the 100th level of the array pagoda, what do you think?" Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Suddenly, everyone's eyes fell on Lin Longyao. Other than Lin Danshan, the heavenly demon evil king and a few others who knew about the bet between Lin Longyao and Zhuowen, no one else knew about it. Lin Yashan couldn't help but frown. He turned to look at Lin Longyao and asked, "Longyao, what's going on?" Lin Longyao was a little embarrassed and told him about the bet between him and Zhuowen. After listening, Lin Yashan nodded and didn't take it to heart. In his opinion, Zhuowen didn't have a strong background. How precious could the most precious thing on him be? The Lin family was the #1 array family in the Bright Mist Main region. They had a strong foundation and were rich. Naturally, they didn't care about the compensation for the bet. What Lin Yashin really cared about was Zhuan. Dawen, I won't go back on my word about the bet. Now, let me introduce you to the patriarch of the Lin family. Lin Longyao's expression was solemn. He pointed at Lin Yashin beside him and continued to say to Zhuan, he's our Lin family's patriarch, Lin Yashin. Lin Yashin had a faint smile at the corners of his mouth. He looked at Zhuan and said, young friend, I heard Long Yao mention you before. You're called Dawen, right? If I'm not wrong, young friend Dawen, you haven't cultivated for more than 10,000 years, right? You're so young, yet you can pass the Tower of 100 Tower. On the 100th floor of the Formation Pagoda, you are the most talented formation master I have ever seen. Senior, you flatter me. I'm just lucky, Zhuan said with a faint smile. Lin Yashin naturally didn't believe Zhuan's words. What a joke. If he could ascend to the Tower of 100 Tower with good luck, wouldn't that mean that many disciples of the Lin family could do it? According to the rules of our Lin family, young friend Dawen, since you can pass the Tower of 100 Tower, you can make a request of our Lin family. Our Lin family will try our best to satisfy your request. Lin Yashin said with a smile. Zhuan's eyes lit up as he said with a faint smile, Senior, you're straightforward. I only have one request for coming to challenge the Tower of Formation this time. I wish to read all of your Lin family's heaven-breaking 9 array Dao manuals. Lin Yashin wasn't surprised by Zhuan's request. He nodded and said, this request is very reasonable. Our Lin family can naturally satisfy you. Long Yao, you should also honor your bet. If you're willing to bet, you must be willing to lose. Don't embarrass our Lin family. Lin Longyao hurriedly stepped forward and then looked at Zhuan with a complicated gaze. He said, young friend Dawen, according to the bet, I only need to give you something of equivalent value to the most precious thing on you. May I know what the most precious thing on you is? Lin Longyao didn't take the contents of the bet to heart. He had never felt that Zhuan would have anything precious on him. Chapter 4008. The originally leisurely Lin Yashin's expression changed drastically as he looked at the purple divine sword in Zhuan's hand in disbelief. Lin Longyao's expression froze as he stared at the purple divine sword and exclaimed, this is a rank 6 astral weapon? How could you have such a powerful treasure? As soon as these words were spoken, the entire plaza was in an uproar. A rank 6 astral weapon was an extremely rare treasure in the entire Heshu realm. No one would have thought that this mediocre kid would actually possess such a powerful and precious treasure on him. I'm not dreaming, am I? How could this kid have a rank 6 astral weapon? Lin Fuxin and Lin Danshan were dumbfounded. The Heavenly Devil Evil King and the Hybrid Demon King had long known that Zhuan had a rank 6 astral weapon, so when they saw Zhuan take it out, they did not reveal any surprise. There was only deep admiration in their eyes. They thought to themselves that their lord had already thought of this result. As expected of their lord, the purple gold divine sword was like a docile puppy as it revolved around Zhuan's body. The blazing purple gold light was like the strong light of the rising sun as it enveloped Zhuan's body, causing him to look like a mighty god that had descended to the mortal world. At this moment, Zhuan spoke again. Patriarch Lin, I know you are a man of your word. I believe you will definitely not break the contract, right? Lin Longyao was furious when he heard this, but he did not dare to flare up. After all, many Lin family disciples were watching, and this bet was agreed upon in advance. If he broke the contract in public, how would others look at him as the patriarch? And he was almost unwilling to compensate with a treasure that was as valuable as a rank 6 astral weapon. It was too precious. Even if their Lin family had a deep foundation, after so many years of accumulation, they only had one rank 6 astral weapon. Moreover, it was something that their Lin family regarded as a clan treasure. It was impossible for their Lin family to easily hand over that thing because of the bet. Just as Lin Longyao was in a dilemma, Lin Yashin spoke. Little brother Dawen, you are right. Our Lin family will keep our word and naturally will not break the contract. You can rest assured about this. But you also know that a rank 6 astral weapon is extremely important after all. Our Lin family can also take it out, but it will take time. How about this? I will take you to our Lin family's formation Dao Pavilion first. Almost all of our Lin family's formation manuals are stored there, including the Heaven 9 Formation Dao manual that you need. Lin Yashin was indeed a big shot who had lived for countless years. He quickly covered up Lin Longyao's predicament, and his suggestion was reasonable. A faint smile appeared on Zhuo Wen's face as he nodded and said, "All right, I believe the Lin clan won't go back on their word. Then let's go to the Formation Dao first." Lin. And was. This mountain range covered an extremely large area, almost the same size as Lingyun City. Numerous peerless peaks shrouded in clouds and mist stood within. What surprised Zhuowen even more was that these peaks were arranged in an extremely strange pattern. It was as if they were in a cycle, growing and multiplying endlessly. The moment he stepped into the mountain range, Zhuowen immediately sensed that there were several peerless formations within the mountain range. Every formation was absolutely extraordinary. However, these formations were all closed and had not been activated. The Formation Dao Pavilion is at the center of the Lin family mountain range. This is our Lin family's most secretive forbidden area. Ordinary Lin family disciples are not qualified to enter. Lin Yashin stopped in front of the mountain gate. His gaze was slightly emotional as he continued, "It is precisely because this is an important place for our Lin family that our ancestors set up many great formations here to ensure the safety of this place. Little brother Daowen, follow me. Come together. The rest of you wait outside the mountain gate." After saying that, Lin Yashin entered the mountain gate. Zhuan did not hesitate and followed closely behind. On the other hand, Heavenly Demon Evil King, Hybrid Demon King, Lin Langshan and the rest consciously waited outside the mountain gate. They did not dare to have the slightest intention of overstepping. The route of the Lin family mountain range was extremely complicated. Lin Yashin led Zhuowen through many twists and turns. It was as if they were walking through a maze. The complexity of the route was almost extreme. Along the way, Lin Yashin did not say a word. He silently led the way in front. Zhuowen naturally would not start a conversation. The two of them walked silently, one in front and one behind. Finally, the two of them came to the most central peak. On the peak of the peak stood an extremely luxurious palace. The palace was resplendent and occupied a large area. It was filled with flowing light and colorful patterns. Obviously, there were many formation runes and Taoist rhymes condensed around the palace. On the door in front of the palace, there was a plaque hanging. On it were written the words Array Formation Imperial Book Pavilion. Every word was written in bold and powerful strokes. "Little brother Daowen, we have arrived at the Array Formation Imperial Book Pavilion. This is the key to enter the Imperial Book Pavilion. You only need to insert this key into the groove of the stone door. The door of the Imperial Book Pavilion will naturally open." Lin Yashin took out a jade key from his bosom and handed it to Zhuowen with a faint smile on his face. "Senior, aren't you going to enter the Array Formation Imperial Book Pavilion with me? Are you so trusting of me?" Zhuowen did not take the jade key. Instead, he asked in return. Lin Yashin shook his head and said, "I'm not going in. I've entered this place no less than thousands of times. I've basically read all the books inside. It's boring to go in again. I'll just wait for you outside. As for little brother Daowen's character, I naturally believe in you. You have to." Zhuan looked deeply at Lin Yashin, took the jade key, and nodded. "Then thank you, senior." After he finished speaking, Zhuan strode into the palace. After he inserted the jade key into the groove, the door of the palace rumbled open. After Zhuowen entered the palace, the door slowly closed. Lin Yashin looked at the closed door, and a sharp light shot out from his eyes. He muttered to himself, Daowen, you're still too young. I didn't expect you to be so easily fooled. I don't need to spend any other effort." After he finished speaking, Lin Yashin put his hands behind his back and left. Lin Yashin did not deceive Zhuowen. This was indeed the Array Formation Imperial Book Pavilion. All the Array Formation Imperial Book Pavilion of the Lin family were stored inside, including the heaven-breaking 9-stage Array Formation Imperial Book. However, Lin Yashin had concealed a part of the truth. That was, the many great formations set up in the entire mountain range, and even the Formation Dao Imperial Book Pavilion were all under his control. Without his permission, it was wishful thinking for anyone who entered the Array Formation Imperial Book Pavilion to want to leave. The moment he entered the Array Formation Imperial Book Pavilion, Lin Yashin knew that Jun had completely become a bird in his cage. Without his permission, Jun would not be able to escape. Chapter 4009. Ancestor. Did Dao Wen enter the Array Dao Imperial Library? When Lin Yashin returned to the mountain, Lin Longyao and Lin Danshan hurriedly went up to him and asked. He just entered the Array Dao Imperial Library. Lin Yashin smiled. Lin Longyao was overjoyed, but Lin Danshan's eyes flickered. Heavenly Fiend Evil King and Hybrid Demon King naturally noticed the different expressions on their faces and felt a little strange. They were puzzled. Why was Zhuo Wen so excited after entering their Lin clan's forbidden ground, the Imperial Study Pavilion? This really puzzled them. Senior Lin, how long will it take for Master Dao Wen to enter the Array Dao Imperial Library? Sky Fiend Evil King asked Lin Yashin. Lin Longyao and Lin Danshan looked at Sky Fiend Evil King and Hybrid Demon King strangely. The Heavenly Fiend Evil King naturally felt the strange gazes of the two, and a sense of foreboding arose in his heart. Lin Yashin put his hands behind his back and a mocking smile appeared on his face. How long will it take? If you don't have this seat's permission, Dao Wen will be imprisoned in the Formation Dao Imperial Book Pavilion for the rest of his life and be trapped inside forever. What? Sky Fiend Evil King and Hybrid Demon King's eyes widened. They were not idiots. They could tell from Lin Longyao and the others' attitude and Lin Yashin's words that the Lin family had come with ill intentions. Senior Lin, what is the meaning of this? We came to the Lin family with respect. Is this how you treat Master Dao Wen? Hybrid Demon King said angrily. The three of them had entered the Lin family and had never done anything that crossed the line. They did not expect Dao Wen to be plotted against by the Lin family. Naturally, they were furious. Lin Danshan lowered his head, not daring to look at Sky Fiend Evil King and Hybrid Demon King. To be honest, he was the one who invited them into the Lin family. Now that something like this had happened, he felt ashamed. However, he had no choice. This was decided by the Lin family's ancestor, Lin Yashin. He had no right to decide. Lin Yashin looked at Sky Fiend Evil King and Hybrid Demon King indifferently and sneered, "Not only Dao Wen, but you two will also stay in the Lin family forever. After today, you two will not be able to leave this place." Just as Lin Yashin finished speaking, many figures appeared around the Lin clan mountain range. All of them had extremely vast and powerful auras. There were more than 10 of them. When the celestial demon Evil King saw them, his face turned ugly. He discovered that they were all God-Devil transformation experts, and there were even 3 peak God-Devil transformation experts. The weakest of them was at the mid-stage of the God-Devil transformation realm. Experts. Ancestor Lin, I really didn't expect that after so many years, you would actually use the promise we made to your Lin family back then. Did you gather all of us just to take down these 2 people? Among the dozen or so people, the 3 people at the front stepped forward and came to Lin Yashin's side. One of them, a middle-aged scholar with fair skin, said with a faint smile. Lin Yu's Lin. These 2 people are not simple. After all, our Lin family is only a family of formations. Our cultivators are not very strong. Therefore, we need your help. Lin Yashin replied calmly. These people were not from the Lin family, but from the other factions of the Bright Mist main region. But they all owed Lin Yashin a favor, so Lin Yashin had the right to gather all of them to help him 3 times. Lin Yashin had not used these favors for so many years, and this was the first time. After all, Sky Fiend Evil King and Hybrid Demon King were not weak, especially Sky Fiend Evil King, who was at the peak of the demonic transformation. If not for these peak demonic transformation experts working together, it would be very difficult to take down Sky Fiend Evil King. The heavenly fiend evil king and hybrid demon king's expressions were ugly. They hadn't expected Lin Yashin to be so resourceful, gathering so many fiend god transformation experts. There were even 3 peak fiend god transformation experts. Both of you, a wise man submits to circumstances. As long as the 2 of you swear to the heavens that you will serve my Lin family for 10,000 years, I, Lin Yashin, will not do anything to you. 10,000 years later, you 2 will be free. Lin Yashin put his hands behind his back and looked down at Sky Fiend Evil King and Hybrid Demon King. Lin Yashin, I did not expect you to be so despicable. You are called the #1 Divine Array Master below Huxley. I must have been blind to have respected you so much. Sky Fiend Evil King said with a gloomy face. Lin Yashin looked at Sky Fiend Evil King coldly and said, Sky Fiend friend, you mean you don't want to submit to my Lin family? Fuck your mother. Sky Fiend Evil King cursed. Since that is the case, we have nothing to talk about. Fellow Li, these 2 evil cultivators barged into my Lin family's imperial library and tried to steal my Lin family's supreme secret. I hope that fellow Li and the rest of you will not hold back and capture these 2 people. Lin Yashin smiled coldly and said to the middle-aged scholar and the rest. Old Ancestor Lin, you are too polite. These 2 people are so unfilial, we need to teach them a lesson. The middle-aged scholar grinned, and a terrifying aura burst out from him like a tidal wave, sweeping across the sky. It was as if everything was frozen in place. The moment the middle-aged scholar unleashed his aura, the other 2 peak fiend god transformation experts beside him also unleashed their auras. The middle-aged scholar and the other 2 split into 3 different directions and rushed towards Sky Fiend Evil King. At the same time, they also released their fiend gods, shaking heaven and earth. The moment the middle-aged scholar and the other 2 attacked, the rest of the fiend god transformation powerhouses rushed towards Sky Fiend Evil King. They also understood that the celestial devil fiend king was at the peak of the fiend god transformation stage. With the 3 of them working together, they would only be a hindrance. You are courting death. Sky Fiend Evil King was enraged, and a monstrous demonic aura burst out from his body like a black storm, spreading across the sky. Then, a giant wolf head and human body rushed out from the void behind Sky Fiend Evil King, and with a long howl, it rushed towards the middle-aged scholar and the other 2. The middle-aged scholar and the other 2 naturally didn't hold back. They commanded their own 3 gods to form a triangle and completely surrounded the celestial fiend Evil King's wolf-headed, human-bodied god. Sky Fiend Evil King was extremely tyrannical, and its aura was terrifying to the extreme. Monstrous demonic aura billowed out, covering the 3 fiend gods in one fell swoop. The wolf-headed man clenched his claws together, and then fiercely slammed them towards the middle-aged scholar and the other 2's hammers. A powerful force exploded, and a series of terrifying explosions resounded in the air. Chapter 40:10. What's going on? How can this celestial demon king's god be so strong? The middle-aged scholar frowned. Logically speaking, the celestial demon king was at the pinnacle of the fiend god transformation realm, just like the 3 of them. But in reality, the 3 of them were no match for the celestial demon king's god even if they joined forces. What they didn't know was that if the celestial demon king's god was at the same level as the 3 of them, he wouldn't have such terrifying strength. But it's a pity that the celestial demon king's god has been reborn. This is a new god created by Zhuowen using the power of the purple tree. It's a god that far surpasses the ordinary gods. Within the same realm, no other god can match it. It's on par with it. The celestial demon king was shocked. This is the first time he's faced an enemy after his rebirth. Lord Daowin is too amazing. The new god that was born for me is so strong. The celestial demon king's respect for Zhuowen grew, and his hatred for the Lin clan that trapped Zhuowen in the imperial library grew. While the 3 of them were still in a daze, the celestial demon king launched a thunderous attack. His entire body shot out like an arrow from a bow. His speed was so fast that it was almost like a meteorite falling from the sky. In an instant, he appeared in front of the middle-aged scholar. The expressions of the middle-aged scholar and the other two changed greatly. They all erupted with powerful fiend god power to resist the heavenly fiend evil king. But what shocked the three of them was that the heavenly devil evil king's power was stronger than the three of them combined. They were actually being beaten back. You're not at the pinnacle of the fiend god transformation realm, but half a step into the ancient star transformation realm? The middle-aged scholar shouted in shock and anger. The corner of the celestial demon king's mouth curled up into a cold sneer. When their god was reborn, their cultivation rose to a new realm, half a step into the ancient star transformation realm. His strength has reached a terrifying level. How could an ordinary pinnacle fiend god transformation realm cultivator be his opponent? On the other side, the 10 fiend god transformation experts were already engaged in a fierce battle with the hybrid demon king. Of these 10 experts, 3 of them were in the late phase of the fiend god transformation realm, while the remaining 7 were in the middle phase. They all released their fiend gods, and their killing intent soared to the skies as they unleashed their strongest attacks. Hybrid Demon King, you're dead meat. The one leading the charge was a hunchbacked old man. His aura was vast and boundless. He was a late-stage fiend god transformation expert. The hunchbacked old man's god fiend was also quite extraordinary. It was a huge black skeleton. This black skeleton was surrounded by black flames and had a crown on its head. Its aura was extremely vast. The hybrid demon king's expression was cold. He also released his own demon god. His demon god was a huge warrior wearing black armor. This fiend god was extremely ferocious. As soon as it appeared, it stomped on the air and shot into the sky like a black meteor. Clang. The black-armored warrior leapt into the air and appeared in the middle of the 10 fiend gods. With a whoosh, it unsheathed the long blade at its waist. With a wave of its right hand, it seemed like an extremely skilled swordsman. The black blade vibrated at high speed and drew a mysterious arc in the air. The 10 fiend gods surrounding the black-armored warrior seemed to have stopped in midair. They did not move at all. After a short moment of stillness, the 10 fiend gods howled in pain and were sent flying. Among them, 7 of the weaker gods and devils were sliced into countless pieces by the strange saber light and completely dispersed. As for the other 3 fiend gods, they retreated with injuries all over their bodies. At the same time, the hybrid demon king moved as well. He instantly appeared in the middle of the 10 fiend god transformation experts. His weapon was also a long blade. His blade technique was extremely sharp, like lightning in the night sky. It flashed past so quickly that it was almost invisible. The 7 fiend gods who had lost their fiend gods suffered from the backlash of their fiend gods and revealed an obvious opening. The hybrid demon king took advantage of this opening and quickly slashed out 7 times. Instantly, the terrifying blade light cut the 7 fiend gods into 8 pieces. Even their souls were destroyed. The other 3 late fiend god transformation experts narrowed their eyes and retreated without a second thought. Old Ancestor Lin, your information must be wrong. This person is not a late fiend god transformation expert, he is a peak fiend god transformation expert. The stooped old man shouted at Lin Yashin as he retreated. The difference between a late fiend god transformation expert and a peak fiend god transformation expert was only a small stage. However, the difference in strength was huge. Even if the 3 of them worked together, they were not confident of being a match. In addition, the hybrid demon king's fiend gods were so strong that they were shocked. Didn't they see the 10 fiend gods retreating and 7 of them being killed? Even a peak fiend god transformation expert would not have such strength. Lin Yashin, who had been waiting for the result, naturally saw the scene in front of him. He was completely stunned and his expression changed greatly. Especially when he saw the heavenly demon king and the hybrid demon king's strength, his expression became very ugly. Long Yao, didn't you say that the heavenly demon king was only at the peak of the fiend god transformation? Is the hybrid demon king only at the late fiend god transformation? What's going on now? Lin Yashin suddenly looked at Lin Longyao and scolded. Lin Longyao did not expect the situation to turn out like this. His body trembled as he said, I have investigated the 2 of them. Their cultivation did not change at all. Why did they suddenly improve? I'm not sure. Lin Yashin coldly snorted as he looked at the middle-aged scholar and the others who were retreating. He knew that if he did not act now, these people would all be killed by the Heavenly Demon King and the Hybrid Demon King. Everyone, don't panic. This old man will help you. Lin Yashin took a step forward and floated in the air. With a wave of his sleeve, a black array disc was thrown out by him. At the same time, Lin Yashin formed hand seals with both hands. Numerous complicated hand seals surged out of his hands. Like countless fish, they landed on the black formation discs. These array discs were arranged in a very orderly manner. After the runes appeared on the surface of the array disc seemed to come alive. A strong aura shot up into the sky and pierced through the sky. Then, with Lin Yashin as the center, an extremely powerful array ripple rapidly appeared in a radius of thousands of miles. These formation Dao ripples intertwined with each other in an extremely complicated pattern, eventually forming an extremely terrifying formation. Within the formation, countless lotuses burning with golden flames appeared. These lotuses were densely packed together, and when they combined together, they transformed into two gigantic golden lotus dragons. As soon as these two dragons formed, they roared and rushed towards the Hybrid Demon King and the Heavenly Demon King respectively. Chapter 40:11. The two raging lotus fire dragons roared as they charged towards the Heavenly Demon Evil King and the Hybrid Demon King. Their huge bodies were made up of countless fire lotuses. Their immense dragon aura poured out in an invincible manner. Bang! Bang! In the blink of an eye, the fire dragons collided with the Heavenly Demon Evil King and the Hybrid Demon King. Flames and demonic chi swept up and filled the entire array. It looked very strange and powerful. But to Lin Yashin's surprise, the two seemingly powerful fire dragons were still suppressed by the Heavenly Demon Evil King and the Hybrid Demon King's divine demons. How can the divine demons of these two be so powerful? Lin Yashin's gaze became very grave. He took a deep breath and formed a seal with both hands. Even more complicated formation runes surged out from his hands like a fairy scattering flowers. They fluttered and spread out in all directions. The surrounding space suddenly surged with even more powerful array ripples. Like a monstrous wave, they rushed up to the sky and swept around the raging lotus fire dragon array. At this moment, the two fiery lotus dragons had been completely destroyed by the two fiend gods and had been reduced to countless fiery fragments. Heaven-breaking 9 steps array, divine spirit array of the 4 symbols. Lin Yashin snorted and formed the last seal with his hands. Suddenly, the surrounding array changed and its aura became even more terrifying and condensed. Around the array, 4 different colored lights burst out. These 4 lights became more and more intense and condensed. Finally, 4 tall and mighty giants appeared in the 4 lights. The aura of these 4 giants was so vast that it was almost beyond the range of the divine demon transformation. The middle-aged scholar and the others who had retreated to the edge were shocked when they saw the 4 giants. The aura of these 4 giants was too vast and powerful. If they were to face these 4 giants, they would not be able to last more than 3 moves. Is this old ancestor Lin's most famous array, the divine spirit array of the 4 symbols? This is the heaven-breaking 9 steps array. It is said that no one can escape from the ancient star transformation. It is a supreme array in the entire radiant mist main region. The stooped old man muttered in horror. He muttered to himself. With the existence of this formation, these 2 people are dead for sure no matter how strong they are. The middle-aged scholar said in a rather relaxed manner. At this moment, the 4 giants immediately rushed over. 2 of them immediately engaged in a fierce battle with the 2 gods and devils. The terrifying ripples of the battle were enough to topple mountains and overturn seas. It was extremely frightening and terrifying. The other 2 giants rushed towards the Heavenly Devil Demon King and Hybrid Demon King. Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King's faces finally changed. The 4 symbols' divine spirit formation was too powerful. The aura of the 4 giants was so terrifying that it made them tremble with fear. especially when they saw that their two powerful fiend gods were actually completely suppressed by the giant. They were practically being suppressed. Fear rose in their hearts. Boom. However, the two of them didn't have time to think because the two giants had already appeared in front of them. They each threw a punch at their vital points. Poochie, Poochie. The two of them used all their strength to block the giant's attack. However, they were extremely passive and were blasted away. Blood spurted out from their mouths. They were seriously injured and their faces were as pale as snow. At the same time, the two gods and devils were also retreating. They were also letting out miserable shrieks. The attacks of the four symbols divine spirit formation became more and more terrifying. Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King couldn't block it at all. In the process of passively resisting, they were constantly injured and the injuries on their bodies became more and more serious. In the end, the two gods and devils were almost defeated and returned to their bodies. The two of them were dripping with blood and were on the verge of death. The four symbols divine spirit formation surrounded the two of them and looked down at them. However, they didn't continue to attack. Lin Yashin slowly landed on the shoulder of one of the giants. He looked at the two of them and said with a faint smile, "You too, do you know how powerful my Lin family is? If you know what's good for you, submit to our Lin family now. Our Lin family will not treat you unfairly. We will." Lin Yashin's heart was filled with love for talent. The strength of Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King was truly beyond his expectations. This was especially true for the Heavenly Fiend Demon King, who was already half a step into the ancient star transformation realm. His strength had already reached an earth-shattering level. In the entire Hushu realm, perhaps only the Hushu clan would be able to find an existence stronger than him. Lin Yashin naturally didn't want to kill such a talent like this. He wanted to subdue them and make them serve the Lin family. Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King sneered and remained silent. Lin Yashin saw their expressions and knew that they didn't intend to submit to the Lin family. He frowned slightly. "Long Ao, Danshin, tie them up and lock them in our Lin family's dungeon," Lin Yashin said lightly. Lin Long Yao and Lin Danshin didn't dare to delay. They took out the god-binding rope and tied up Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Demon King tightly. Then they ordered people to take them away. Old Ancestor Lin is indeed the most powerful divine formation master in our Radiant Mist main region. He easily set up a heaven-breaking level 9 formation and took down these two people with ease. The middle-aged scholar, the hunchbacked old man, and the remaining 6 people quickly came forward and praised Lin Yashin. However, their eyes were filled with fear and awe. Although they had long known that Lin Yashin was a heaven-breaking Tier 9 formation Dao master, they had never seen him in action. Now that they had seen it, they finally knew how powerful Lin Yashin was. Not to mention the heaven-breaking Tier 9 formation 4 Divine Spirit formation, just the peak heaven-breaking Tier 8 formation Raging Lotus Fire Dragon formation that Lin Yashin set up in an instant was enough to trap them. At least most of them would die, and a few of them would barely be able to hold on. After a long time, they would still die in the Raging Lotus Fire Dragon formation. Lin Yashin naturally saw the fear and awe in the eyes of the middle-aged scholar and the others. A smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He cupped his hands and said politely to the 6 people, "The 6 of you have worked hard this time. If it weren't for you, our Lin family wouldn't have been able to capture these 2 traitors. Defy. Later, I will order someone to give each of you a heaven-breaking Tier 7 formation disc." The middle-aged scholar and the others were pleasantly surprised. They did not expect Lin Yashin to reward them even though they did not help much this time. The 6 of them admired and respected Lin Yashin even more. The moment they entered the Imperial Book Pavilion, the door slammed shut. Zhuan revealed a cold smile and muttered in a low voice, "Lin Yashin, I hope you are a smart person. Otherwise, I will not be courteous to your Lin family." After entering the Imperial Book Pavilion, he had already sensed that there were several powerful killing and trapping formations set up in the Imperial Book Pavilion. Once the door of the Imperial Book Pavilion closed, the cultivators in the Imperial Book Pavilion would not be able to escape. Chapter 40:12. Zhuan no longer thought about Lin Yashin. His gaze was fixed on the rows of huge bookshelves in the Imperial Library. Every row of bookshelves was filled with books. At a glance, all of these books were related to the array Dao. Zhuowen's eyes lit up. The Lin family was indeed the #1 array formation family in the Radiant Mist main region. The array formation books in the Imperial Library were really rich. They were much richer than Hongwu Shengzhen's. The moment he entered the Imperial Library, Zhuowen's divine consciousness spread out like a huge net. He found that the Imperial Library was divided into 9 areas. The area he was in was the area near the entrance of the Imperial Library. It was also the outermost area. Other than this area, the other areas were sealed by powerful restrictions. Zhuowen's divine consciousness could not enter the other 8 areas. Furthermore, Zhuowen discovered that the bookshelves in the outermost region were all heaven-breaking level 1 array Dao manuals. In other words, the deeper one went, the more advanced the array formation books would be. With Zhuowen's current array Dao standards, unless it was a heaven-breaking level 9 or above array Dao scripture, it would be completely useless to him. Zhuowen walked forward slowly. Soon, he arrived in front of the restriction in the second area. Zhuowen formed a seal with his hands. Instantly, the restriction energy in the second area dissipated. It was easily broken by Zhuowen. Zhuowen did not stop. He walked straight into the depths of the Imperial Library. With his array formation skills, the restrictions in the first 8 areas did not hinder him at all. After a while, Zhuowen entered the 9th area. The 9 areas were not big. There was only 1 bookshelf in each area. There were not many array formation books on it. They were scattered in the bookshelf. However, Zhuowen's eyes shone with excitement. He knew that the array Dao manuals in the 9th region were all extraordinary. They were all heaven-breaking level 9 array Dao manuals. The Imperial Library has a 10th area? Zhuowen circled around the 9th area. Suddenly, he discovered an extremely obscure restrictive aura in front of him. He stopped in front of the restriction and reached out with his right hand. Suddenly, a terrifying energy burst out like lightning and landed in Zhuowen's hand. Zhuowen reacted quickly and quickly retreated. At the same time, he formed a seal with both hands and instantly formed a defensive formation. Bang! A muffled sound rang out. The defensive array in front of Zhuowen instantly shattered, and he flew out with a muffled groan, smashing into the edge. Puchi! Involuntarily spitting out a mouthful of blood, Zhuowen's expression became extremely gloomy as he stared fixedly at the obscure restriction. He could clearly sense that this obscure restriction was extremely powerful. He had only touched it once, but he was already injured. This made him very shocked. One had to know, his formation Dao comprehension ability had already reached Breaking Heaven Tier 9 in essence, just lacking the theoretical foundation. As long as he flipped through the heaven-breaking array formation books, he would be able to advance to Breaking Heaven Tier 9 Divine Array Master in a short time. A normal heaven-breaking Tier 9 formation would not be able to harm him. However, this obscure restriction, he was injured just by touching it. It could be seen that the level of this restriction might have surpassed Breaking Heaven Tier 9. Zhuowen's eyes narrowed as he took a deep look at the obscure restriction. He knew that since such a powerful restriction could be set up, the 10th area behind this restriction would definitely be extraordinary. However, he also knew that with his current level of formation Dao, it was impossible for him to break this restriction. Unless his formation Dao level reached Breaking Heaven Tier 9, there might be some possibility. Thinking of this, Zhuowen began to calm down and began to study the heaven-breaking 9 steps array Dao books in the 9th region. As Zhuowen's comprehension ability had already reached Breaking Heaven Tier 9, it wasn't difficult for him to read these heaven-breaking array formation books. He read very quickly and comprehended very quickly. In just 3 days he had finished reading all the array formation books in the 9th area. So that's how it is. So this is how the heaven-breaking array formation works. It has completely broken the previous principles of setting up arrays. On this day, Zhuowen put down the book in his hand. His eyes revealed a look of enlightenment, and a light that was difficult to look at burst out of his eyes. He stretched out his hands and slowly formed various complicated seals in the void. As his hands continued to form seals, Many seals and patterns appeared in the void. These patterns and seals intertwined into divine chains of laws. They continued to intertwine and revolve, and finally formed a powerful formation Tao trajectory. Moreover, as Zhuan continued to form seals, the formation Tao trajectory in the void became more and more powerful, almost condensing into a substance. Zhuan set up the array formation as if he was drunk. In less than half a day, he had completely set up a heaven-breaking array formation. If other formation Tao divine masters knew about this, their jaws would definitely drop. As everyone knew, all the formation Tao divine masters who had just stepped into heaven-breaking level 9 would have to go through a long period of practice and fail many times before they could finally complete the embryonic form of the heaven-breaking level 9 formation. With continuous practice and refinement, the speed and efficiency of a formation Tao divine master would become faster and faster. The ancestor of the Lin family, Lin Yashan, had been a heaven-breaking array formation master for tens of thousands of years. He had practiced countless times, which was why he could set up a heaven-breaking array formation in 15 minutes and instantly set up a heaven-breaking array formation at the peak of the heaven-breaking array formation. However, Zhuowen was completely different. He had successfully set up a heaven-shattering Tier 9 grand array on his first try, and it had only taken him half a day. This speed was faster than any other array formation genius, and he had broken the records of countless array formation geniuses. Zhuowen waved his sleeve, and the embryonic form of the heaven-breaking array formation dissipated. Then, he continued to set up the array formation. The second time, he only took 10 hours to succeed. The third time, it took him 4 hours. Zhuowen practiced repeatedly, and on his 10th attempt, he succeeded in half a quarter of an hour. In other words, his speed of setting up the heaven-breaking array formation was faster than Lin Yashan's, and its power was no weaker than Lin Yashan's. Zhuowen stopped and slowly walked to a hidden place in the 9th district. There was an extremely high-level array formation hidden here. Before reaching the heaven-breaking array formation, Zhuowen was helpless. Now, he had some confidence, and he wanted to try to break this restriction. Zhuowen was very clear that after he advanced to the heaven-breaking stage 9, because he cultivated the primordial chant, his array Tao level would instantly surpass most of the heaven-breaking stage 9 array Tao godmasters. He had a certain chance of breaking this restriction that surpassed the heaven-breaking stage 9. Hold it. Moreover, he knew that this restriction wasn't complete. It was incomplete, and there was a flaw in it. I'm really looking forward to what's hidden in the 10th district of the Imperial Library. Chapter 4013. It had to be said that the restriction in this obscure place was extremely powerful. Zhuowen tried again and again, but he failed time and time again. However, Zhuowen did not give up. Instead, he became more courageous with each failure. That was because as he continued to try to break this restriction, his understanding of the formation Tao also became deeper and deeper. After all, he had just advanced to the heaven-breaking level 9. Although his standard had already surpassed many heaven-breaking level 9 formation Tao divine masters, he was still a little unfamiliar with it. However, in the process of breaking the restriction, he rapidly improved his understanding of the heaven-breaking level 9 formation. Imperceptibly, his formation Tao level also rapidly improved. As his formation Tao level improved, he became more and more proficient in breaking this restriction. He gradually found the trick. Finally, after more than 20 days, a muffled cracking sound was heard. Then, countless cracks appeared on the mysterious and powerful restriction in front of him. In the end, it shattered into countless pieces. Zhuowen's eyes shone brightly as he looked at the pitch-black passageway before him and muttered in a low voice, "I've finally broken through the restrictions of the 10th area. I wonder what exactly exists in the 10th area." Even though Zhuowen's calmness was shocking, he was also extremely excited at this moment. The 9th zone of the Imperial Book Pavilion stored the heaven-breaking level 9 formation Tao books. The things stored in the 10th zone, which was even deeper, would definitely be more precious than the heaven-breaking level 9 formation Tao books. Zhuowen lifted his foot and stepped into the tunnel, slowly stepping into the darkness. After a short while, he arrived at the end of the tunnel and entered a dark secret room. The decoration of the secret room was very simple. There was only a ball of blue light floating in the middle of the secret room. Around the ball of light, there were dense blue thunderbolts, and they were making crackling sounds. Zhuan looked through the blue thunderbolts and vaguely saw that inside the ball of light was the appearance of a book. What a powerful restriction! This should be a book. It's actually wrapped in 2 layers of such powerful restriction. This book is definitely not ordinary. Zhuowen's eyes shone with a light that was hard to look at. He could see that the lightning and the light were 2 layers of restrictions. Moreover, the level of the restrictions was so strong that it was almost the same as the restrictions that connected the 10th and 9th zones. Just as Zhuowen was about to break these 2 layers of restrictions, a loud and clear voice suddenly resounded throughout the Imperial Study Pavilion. Daowen! Inside the Imperial Study Pavilion, there were 108 restrictions and 49 great formations. Even a heaven-breaking level 9 formation Dao Divine Master would not be able to escape after the Imperial Book Pavilion closes, let alone you. Zhuan narrowed his eyes and said coldly, Patriarch Lin, what is the meaning of this? I sincerely came to your house to seek Dao. Is this how you treat your guest? This voice belonged to Lin Yashan. Zhuowen recognized it immediately. Lin Yashan's voice rang out again. He said mockingly, Guest? Daowen, you are too naive. After you passed the 100th level of the Formation Pagoda, you are no longer a guest of the Lin family. You are an enemy. Of course, if you pledge allegiance to the Lin family, you will be treated with the highest standards by the Lin family. In the future, you may be able to control the Lin family. Now, all you have to do is hand over your divine soul mark and swear to the heavenly Dao. I will open the Imperial Book Pavilion and let you out. Zhuowen's expression became colder. Lin Yashan really had a good plan. He wanted him to hand over his divine soul mark and swear to the heavenly Dao. He clearly wanted him to become a slave of the Lin family. Patriarch Lin, don't go too far. Do you think I am a 3-year-old child? Do you think I will fall for such a clumsy trick? Zhuowen said coldly. Ho, whether you fall for it or not, do you think you have a choice? You should know that once I activate the restriction formation in the Imperial Book Pavilion, you will not be able to survive. Lin Yashan said coldly. Zhuowen sneered and said, There are so many array Dao books in the Imperial Book Pavilion. They are the accumulation of your Lin family for countless years. If you activate the restriction formation to deal with me, won't you also destroy these array Dao books? Lin Yashan, what are you talking about? You can't threaten me. Sure enough, when these words came out, Lin Yashan immediately fell silent. Zhuowen's guess was right. Lin Yashan was indeed bluffing. The restriction formation in the Imperial Book Pavilion was very powerful, but how would he dare to really activate it? Wouldn't that destroy the Imperial Book Pavilion? The reason why he said this was only to intimidate Zhuowen, to make him cower before the battle and then obediently sign an unequal treaty with his Lin family, who knew that Zhuowen was much shrewder than he had imagined and did not fall for it at all. Even so, you can't escape from the Imperial Book Pavilion. Without my help, you will be trapped in the Imperial Book Pavilion forever. Also, the Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Devil King are in my hands. If you don't want them to die, I think you'd better make a choice. Lin Yashan threatened again. Zhuowen's eyes shot out 2 rays of cold light as he said, Lin Yashan, if you dare to kill those 2, I will destroy your entire Lin family to accompany them. Although Zhuowen did not have any feelings for the Heavenly Devil Evil King and Hybrid Devil King, these 2 were the best helpers for him to go to Huxley to save Shanling Yun. If these 2 were to die in the Lin clan, it would disrupt all of his plans. Lin Yashan sneered and said, Destroy my Lin family? With just you? You really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. I will only give you 3 days to consider. If you can't give me the answer I want, I will destroy those 2 first. After saying that, Lin Yashan's voice gradually faded away. It was obvious that he had left the Imperial Book Pavilion. Zhuowen's eyes were cold. He looked at the blue ball of light in the 10th district. He knew that it would take a lot of time to break through these 2 layers of restrictions. Now, he did not have enough time. He had to leave the Imperial Book Pavilion first. Lin Yashan, You will pay the price for your greed. Zhuan snorted coldly as he left the 10th district and headed towards the entrance of the Imperial Book Pavilion. With his current array formation skills, the restrictions in the Imperial Book Pavilion did not pose much of a threat to him. After a while, Zhuan completely broke through the restrictions on the entrance of the Imperial Book Pavilion. Then, he slammed his right palm on the surface of the door. Countless cracks appeared on the thick stone door of the Imperial Book Pavilion. In the end, it suddenly collapsed into countless pieces. Smoke and dust rose as Mu Feng slowly walked out of the Imperial Book Pavilion. At this moment, Lin Yashan had just walked out of the Lin family mountain range. Then he suddenly stopped in his tracks. This was because he heard a loud sound coming from the depths of the Lin family mountain range. He frowned slightly as his divine sense radiated out and landed in the Imperial Book Pavilion. Then he revealed a look of disbelief. Chapter 4014. This guy actually broke through the restrictive formation of the Imperial Library? How is that possible? Lin Yashan's pupils shrank to the size of needles as he exclaimed. When Lin Yashan's divine consciousness discovered Zhuan's enormous divine consciousness also landed on Lin Yashan. Lin Yashan, do you think the Imperial Library can do anything to me? What a joke! Zhuan's majestic voice boomed like thunder, exploding through the entire Lin mountain range. Lin Yashan's expression was ugly. He hurriedly took out several formation flags and tossed them out. Instantly, the Lin mountain range changed color. Countless bolts of lightning, flames, and other energies spread out and enveloped the entire Lin mountain range. At that moment, Lin Yashan activated several heaven-breaking Tier 9 formations in the Lin mountain range. The moment Zhuan's divine consciousness enveloped him, he sensed that this person was not simple. Therefore, he immediately activated the formations in the Lin mountain range. At the same time, he took out a communication jade talisman and summoned all the higher-ups of the Lin family, as well as the powerful cultivators who had received favors from the Lin family. In an instant, the entire Lin family was alarmed. Numerous figures rushed out and headed toward the Lin mountain range. Lin Longyao and Lin Danshan also woke up from their seclusion. They were shocked when they received Lin Yashan's urgent message. One had to know that this kind of emergency message would only be sent out in moments of life and death. Now that Lin Yashan had sent them such a message, could it be that he had encountered some kind of great danger? Therefore, although the two of them were confused, they did not dare to delay and hurriedly rushed toward the Lin mountain range. Bush, 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 bush. In the blink of an eye, all the higher-ups of the Lin family had gathered around the Lin mountain range. Lin Danshan, Lin Longyao, the middle-aged scholar, and the other powerful cultivators had all gathered. Forefather, what happened? Lin Longyao hurriedly went forward and asked. Lin Yashan's face darkened. He said in a low voice, that Daowen escaped from the Imperial Library. How could he have escaped? The Imperial Study Pavilion was set up with many restrictive formations. Even if it was an ordinary heaven-breaking Tier 9 formation, it would be difficult to escape after being trapped in the Imperial Study Pavilion. Lin Longyao was shocked. He was shocked and his mouth was wide open. Lin Danshan's eyes flashed and he became serious. He didn't expect Zhuan to be so powerful that even the Imperial Pavilion couldn't trap him. We've underestimated this kid. If I'm not mistaken, this boy's array Dao level is not weaker than mine. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to break the Imperial Book Pavilion's restriction. Lin Yashan's eyes were gloomy. Lin Langshan, Lin Longyao, and the others were shocked. They didn't expect Lin Yashan to think so highly of Zhuan. What kind of person was Lin Yashan? He was a divine array master who had already broken through the heavens tens of thousands of years ago. After tens of thousands of years of continuous research, his level of array Dao must have reached an even more terrifying level. Now, he actually said that Zhuan's level was about the same as his. Lin Longyao and the others naturally couldn't accept it. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, the violent energy in the Lin clan mountain range dissipated, and a terrifying purple-gold sword chi shot up into the sky. Wherever the purple-gold sword chi passed, the violent thunderbolts, raging flames, and raging black winds were all torn into pieces by the sword chi. The terrifying sword chi shot up into the sky and finally slashed the surface of several large arrays that enveloped the Lin Clan mountain range. In an instant, the entire Lin Clan mountain range shook violently. The huge mountains couldn't withstand the terrifying energy and broke apart one after another. They turned into rocks and rolled down, turning into ruins. Although the purple gold sword chi was powerful, the large arrays around the Lin Clan mountain range were also extremely extraordinary. Although they were slightly dimmed by the sword chi, they completely blocked it and were still glowing and emitting heat. At this moment, in the depths of the Lin Clan mountain range, a figure slowly walked through the air. This person's long hair was fluttering, and his sleeves were flapping. A purple gold divine sword circled around him, bursting with a rich purple gold light, illuminating him and making him look extremely mysterious. He was none other than Zhuowen. It really is a Dao rune. The moment Lin Longyao saw this figure, his face immediately turned gloomy. The attack just now was too terrifying. If he had taken it head-on, he would have died without a doubt. The several large arrays around the Lin Clan mountain range are all heaven-breaking Tier 9 arrays, and they are linked together. The combined power is extremely strong. This Dao rune can't possibly break it. Lin Longyao said confidently. Lin Yashan's eyes were cold as he said, "Don't underestimate this Dao rune. Longyao, take the upper echelons of the Lin clan and line up around the Lin Clan mountain range. Maintain the large arrays around the Lin Clan mountain range for me. I plan to set up several more large arrays. We must trap this kid." Hearing this, although Lin Longyao felt that Lin Yashan was overly worried, he didn't dare to disobey the old man's orders. He hurriedly led Lin Danshan and the other upper echelons of the Lin clan to line up around the Lin Clan mountain range. Each of them took out their array flags and formed hand seals to strengthen the Dao rune. The large arrays around the Lin Clan mountain range. Sure enough, with the support of Lin Longyao and the others, the several large arrays that had been weakened by Zhuowen's slash were revitalized and became more and more powerful. Within the large array, Yun floated in midair. He naturally saw everything that was happening in the Lin Clan mountain range. "You think you can stop me like this? What a joke!" Zhuowen sneered. He took out several array discs from the Great World and formed hand seals with both hands. Immediately, the complicated patterns on the surface of the array discs lit up. Then, the array discs rushed into the sky above the large array like a long dragon. "Humph! I've found the array core. No matter how many of you there are to maintain the large array, it's useless." The array discs coiled in the void, and a black vortex appeared in the void. It was the array core of the large arrays. Zhuowen sneered. He pointed the sword finger on his right hand, and the purple gold divine sword turned into a beam of purple gold light that shot into the black vortex. Bang, bang, bang. Suddenly, an earth-shattering explosion came from the black vortex. Then the entire large array shook violently, and the sound of glass shattering could be heard. Lin Longyao and the others who were maintaining the large array around the Lin Clan mountain range spat out mouthfuls of blood. Then, to their shock, they found that countless cracks had appeared on the surface of the large array in front of them. There were more and more cracks, and they were getting denser. "Oh no, the large array can't hold on any longer. Retreat!" Lin Danshan reacted quickly and immediately left the large array. Lin Longyao and the others also retreated. Boom! The large array completely collapsed. Terrifying array ripples swept out like explosive energy and blasted Lin Longyao and the others. Chapter 40:15. The Lin Clan mountain range had been reduced to rubble due to the earlier battle, but the path leading to the mountain gate was still intact. As the thud approached, a black-haired, black-eyed young man slowly walked out. A purple gold divine sword circled around him, its aura as deep as the ocean. The purple gold light shone in all directions, dyeing the surroundings a strange purple gold color. Outside the Lin Clan mountain range, Lin Yashan's eyes narrowed when he saw the figure. "Daowen, it looks like I've underestimated you. I didn't expect you to be able to escape from the heaven-breaking Tier 9 array around the Lin Clan mountain range." The middle-aged scholar and the other two peak fiend god transformation stage powerhouses hurriedly stood in front of Lin Yashin to protect him. They looked fearfully at the young man walking out from the mountain gate. They knew very well that the Lin clan mountain range had several heaven-breaking Tier 9 arrays. Even with the Lin clan's divine array masters present, this young man had still managed to break through them. Just how powerful was this young man? 3 heaven-breaking Tier 9 arrays. Lin Yashin, is this where your confidence comes from? Zhuowen slowly walked forward. His cold gaze shot out and landed on Lin Yashin. Lin Yashin shuddered. That gaze was so cold that he felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. Don't be too arrogant, Dao Wen. The Lin clan has been able to stand tall in the Bright Mist main district for so many years. You can't even begin to imagine our strength. Lin Yashin snorted coldly as he took out 3 scrolls from his sleeves. These are top-grade summoning scrolls. The middle-aged scholar and the other 2 couldn't help but narrow their eyes when they saw the 3 scrolls. Jun also saw the 3 scrolls in Lin Yashin's hands. He knew a thing or two about summoning scrolls. It was said that a summoning scroll was usually a contract between the person holding the scroll and the other person. Once the contract was formed, the person holding the scroll would have the right to use it to summon the other person. After being summoned, the person being summoned would have to do one thing for the summoning party. After completing the summoner's task, the summoning scroll would be nullified, and the summoned party would naturally be free. The summoned party could not only be cultivators, but also powerful demonic beasts, great demons, and other non-human cultivators. I've heard that the Lin clan's ancestor once traveled the world and used his superb array skills to sign a summoning scroll agreement with 3 top powerhouses. They all had the responsibility to help the Lin family's patriarch once. Among them is our Bright Mist main region. The powerful cultivator Yang Xiuya, the middle-aged scholar said with a solemn expression. Yang Xiuya. I know this person. He's a half-step ancient star transformation expert. In the Bright Mist main region, he must be an extremely mysterious expert who is elusive and elusive. An expert beside the middle-aged scholar exclaimed. That's right. The targets of these 3 summoning scrolls are all half-step ancient star transformation experts, and one of them is Yang Xiuya. Lin Yashin said proudly. The middle-aged scholar and the others were shocked. Didn't this mean that the Lin clan now had 3 half-step ancient star transformation sovereigns in their ranks? It was no wonder that the Lin clan had never had a heaven-shaking expert to guard the Lin clan all these years. No other powers dared to invade the Lin clan. It turned out that the Lin clan had such a powerful trump card. Zhuan looked at the summoning scrolls in Lin Yashin's hands with great interest. Although he had heard of summoning scrolls before, he had never used them before. After learning that Lin Yashin's summoning scrolls could summon half-step ancient star transformation experts, Zhuowen's interest was piqued. Lin Yashin glanced at Zhuowen with a smug expression. Daowen, now you know how powerful my Lin clan is. If you're afraid, I can still overlook your mistake of destroying the Lin clan mountain range, as long as you agree to my conditions. Zhuowen sneered. Lin Yashin, you think too highly of yourself. So what if you can summon 3 half-step ancient star transformation experts? I can destroy them all the same. As he spoke, Zhuowen stomped his right foot in the air. Suddenly, the entire space exploded with a terrifying sound. Zhuowen charged forward with unparalleled power. His speed was so fast that it was almost as if he had teleported. Lin Yashin's expression changed drastically. He threw out several array discs and activated the 3 scrolls in his hands. The 3 scrolls opened, revealing some kind of extremely complicated array formation. At this moment, the 3 arrays within the scrolls suddenly exploded with blazing light. Glowing runes left the scrolls and condensed into divine chains of laws. They looked extremely mysterious and powerful. The instant the 3 scrolls were activated, Yuan appeared in front of Lin Yashin. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched out. A terrifying explosion rang out as a ring of white clouds erupted with Zhuowen at the center. Bang, bang, bang. The punch landed in front of Lin Yashin. Immediately, an invisible ripple of matrix Dao spread out, blocking the attack of the terrifying punch. Don't even think about harming the Lin family's patriarch. The moment Zhuan was blocked by the array formation around Lin Yashan, the middle-aged scholar and the other two reacted and surrounded him. They were inexplicably shocked. Zhuan's speed was too fast. They only reacted when Zhuan's fist landed on the defensive array in front of Lin Yashan. Just 3 ants. Zhuan's gaze was calm. He pointed his sword finger in the air and the violet gold divine sword whizzed out. It carried a violent violet gold sword chi as it slashed towards the lanky man on the far right. Although the lanky man's cultivation was at the peak of the celestial demon transformation, his aura was clearly weaker than the middle-aged scholar and the other person. The lanky man's eyes flashed coldly. He didn't dare to be careless and used his strongest attack. Thousand-hand demon god slash. The tall, skinny man's god fiend had 1,000 arms, and each arm held a powerful god fiend. When the lanky man shouted, the thousand-hand demon god swung its 1,000 arms and slashed at the violet gold divine sword. Puchi. But to the lanky man's disbelief, the violet gold divine sword was too sharp. With a single slash, the thousand-hand demon god's 1,000 arms were all chopped off. Blood splattered across the sky like a torrential downpour. Slash. Zhuan's gaze was calm. He raised his sword finger above his head and slashed down. The violet gold divine sword drew an arc in the air and slashed at the lanky man's head. Block it for me. The lanky man used all his fiend god strength and raised his hands to meet the attack. The surging fiend god strength transformed into a tortoise shell that protected him. Chapter 40:16. The middle-aged scholar and his companion naturally saw the state of the skinny man's death. Although they were terrified, they did not flee. The two of them had already reached Zhuowen's side, flanking Zhuowen from both sides. The two gods and demons were like two mountains, attacking Zhuowen from both sides. You overestimate yourselves. Zhuan shook his head. He opened his arms and took the fists of the two gods and demons with his bare hands. The power of the two fiend gods was extremely terrifying. They landed on both sides of Zhuowen and exploded with rumbling sounds. Terrifying waves of clouds were set off in the surroundings and suddenly burst out in all directions. Following that, the middle-aged scholar and his companion were shocked to find that the youth, who was extremely small compared to the gods and demons, easily caught the fists of the two gods and demons. Your gods and demons are really too weak. Zhuan shook his head. With a flick of his hand, the two gods and demons as large as mountains were ruthlessly thrown out by him, smashing into the middle-aged scholar and his companion. Puchi. The two of them were smashed by the gods and demons, spurting out blood as they were crushed to the ground. When they managed to put away the gods and demons, all the bones in their bodies were shattered. They lay in the crater, unable to move. How can there be such a powerful fiend god transformation cultivator? Is he really in the fiend god transformation? The middle-aged scholar's heart was filled with fear. This was the first time he had seen such a terrifying mid-stage fiend god transformation cultivator. Moreover, the middle-aged scholar noticed that Zhuowen hadn't even released his fiend god during the battle with the three of them. In other words, he had not used his full strength at all. Zhuowen did not even look at the two severely injured middle-aged scholar and his companion. When he was in the early stage of the fiend god transformation, he could easily defeat peak stage fiend god transformation cultivators. Now that he was in the mid-stage of the fiend god transformation, he did not even need to release his gods and demons to kill peak stage fiend god transformation cultivators. In his eyes, the middle-aged scholar and his companion were as insignificant as ants. After dealing with the middle-aged scholar and the other two, Zhuowen's gaze landed on Lin Yashan. Lin Yashan was shocked. The battle prowess that Zhuowen displayed just now really frightened him. The middle-aged scholar and the other two were defeated so easily. This was something he had never expected. Lin Yashan, you shouldn't have provoked me. I am not someone you can afford to provoke. Zhuowen shook his head as a terrifying aura surged out like an ocean. He grabbed at the air with his right hand, and the violet gold divine sword appeared in his hand. Then he suddenly slashed forward. Instantly, the violet gold divine sword erupted with a blazing sword light. The moment it landed on the ripples of the array, an earth-shattering explosion erupted from the array. Kakaka. Terrifying sounds of collapsing could be heard coming from the surrounding array. Then the array was completely destroyed. Lin Yashin, who was inside the formation, was affected by the aftermath of the formation's collapse. He let out a muffled groan and retreated continuously. However, the moment he retreated, he waved his sleeve and the 3 scrolls flew to his side. Lin Yashin was both shocked and furious, but he also felt some regret in his heart. He didn't expect Juon to be so powerful. If he had known, he definitely wouldn't have offended such an expert so rashly. Just at the instant he retreated, a swift and fierce sound of wind whistled over. Only now did he discover to his shock and horror that a violet gold divine sword that had slashed apart his grand formation hadn't lost its momentum in the slightest, and it was shooting straight towards him at an inconceivable speed. No, Lin Yashin was finally afraid. He felt a deep chill. He knew that if he was hit by this sword, he would definitely die. And the summoning scroll hadn't completely taken effect yet. Just as Lin Yashin was feeling despair, the scroll on his left retracted its light, and then a figure appeared out of thin air. At this moment, the figure shouted coldly and punched out with both fists, slamming into the violet gold divine sword. Clang, clang, clang. What shocked Juon was that this person's fists were actually able to resist the sharpness of the violet gold divine sword. They were actually evenly matched. Juon observed carefully and discovered that this person was wearing a pair of ice silk gloves. On the surface of the ice silk gloves, there was a lustrous white light that flowed with a powerful Dao aura. Rank 6 Astral Soldier. Juon was shocked to discover that the ice silk gloves on this person's hand was actually a rank 6 Astral Soldier. Moreover, from the aura, it could be seen that the gloves were of a higher level than his violet gold divine sword. It had probably reached the peak of the rank 6 Astral Soldier. This was a middle-aged man with a sinister scar on his face. This person looked to be around 50 years old. He was short and only reached Juon's chest. However, this middle-aged man's aura was extremely terrifying. It was as if he was an eternal giant, giving people a strong sense of oppression. Half-step ancient star transformation? Juon narrowed his eyes. He could naturally see that this middle-aged man's aura was far stronger than the 3-peak demonic transformation middle-aged scholars. He was even stronger than the newly born heavenly devil Evil King. Brother Yang Xiuya, fortunately you arrived in time. Otherwise, I would have already died. Lin Yashin wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. That moment was truly a matter of life and death. The short middle-aged man was the strongest cultivator in the Bright Mist main region, Yang Xiuya. His cultivation was at the half-step ancient star transformation, and his strength was infinitely close to the ancient star transformation. Yang Xiuya looked at Lin Yashin indifferently before his gaze landed on Juon. Especially when he saw the violet gold divine sword revolving around Juon, his eyes revealed a trace of surprise and greed. Brother Lin, a mere mid-stage demonic transformation cultivator can make you so miserable? Yang Xiuya asked curiously. Lin Yashin smiled bitterly. Brother Yang, don't underestimate this kid. Although his aura is not very strong, his strength is extremely terrifying. Brother Li and the other 2 were easily defeated by him. Li Yanshou? Yang Xiuya's gaze turned serious when he saw the 2 heavily injured middle-aged scholars lying on the ground. He also knew Li Yanshou, who was at the peak of the demonic transformation stage. He was quite famous in the Bright Mist main region. Even such an expert had been defeated. It seemed that this mid-stage demonic transformation youth was not to be underestimated. Deng deng. At that moment, the other 2 scrolls suddenly collapsed and exploded with 2 rays of light. Within the 2 rays of light, 2 figures slowly appeared. Lin Yashin was pleasantly surprised. He knew that the other 2 top-grade summoning scrolls had taken effect. Lin Yashin, you haven't looked for me for so many years. Why did you have to summon me now? A tyrannical voice sounded, and a large black wolf, dozens of feet in size, stared coldly at Lin Yashin with a pair of scarlet eyes. You finally summoned me. Lin Yashin, I've helped you this time. You and I owe each other a favor. Don't bother me in the future. Beside the black wolf was a demon covered in scales. He had an evil smile on his face, but his voice was extremely cold. Chapter 40:17. Yang Xiuya? The ancient devil of the void and the black wolf king immediately noticed Yang Xiuya, and their gazes turned hostile. Whether it was the ancient void demon, black wolf king, or Yang Xiuya, they were all top experts in the Hushu realm. Other than Huxley, almost no one in the Hushu realm dared to offend the three of them. Especially Yang Xiuya. He was a human cultivator and had never been on good terms with the ancient void demon and black wolf king. For this reason, Yang Xiuya had fought with the black wolf king and the ancient demon of the void many times. It could be said that the grudges between them ran deep. Yang Xiuya raised his eyebrows and said indifferently, "Black wolf king, ancient void demon, long time no see." The black wolf king bared his teeth and said coldly, "It has indeed been a long time. Back then, you snuck into my Black Emperor palace alone and killed several of my descendants. Today, you and I must settle this grudge properly." The ancient void demon only looked at Yang Xiuya indifferently and did not say anything. Instead, his gaze fell on Zhuan. He knew very well that Lin Yashan would not summon them for no reason. Since he had summoned them, there must be something for them to do. And this matter should have something to do with the youth in front of him. Lin Yashan felt that Yang Xiuya and the Black Wolf King were at loggerheads and hurriedly dissuaded them. "Black Wolf King, now is not the time for internal strife. The three of you are now on the same side." The Black Wolf King snorted coldly and gradually withdrew his killing intent. He also knew that he was the one summoned by Lin Yashan. With Lin Yashan here, he had no chance of fighting Yang Xiuya. "Old Lin Spit, why did you summon the three of us?" The Black Wolf King said indifferently. Lin Yashan's venomous gaze fell on Zhuan as he said fiercely, "My request is very simple. That is to completely take down this youth in front of us." Middle stage demonic transformation realm? The Black Wolf King glanced at Zhuan and frowned. The moment he was summoned, he naturally noticed Yuan. However, Zhuan's aura was simply too weak. He was only at the middle stage of the Fiend God transformation stage, so he didn't take him seriously at all. Now, Lin Yashan had spent a lot of effort to summon the three of them just to deal with this unknown young man. He wondered if there was something wrong with Lin Yashan's head. "Black Wolf King, don't underestimate him. Look at that divine sword beside him." Yang Xiuya sneered. Only then did the Black Wolf King notice the divine sword that surrounded Zhuan like a bodyguard and emitted a purple-gold glow. "This is the aura of a rank 6-star soldier. This little guy actually possesses this kind of strange treasure," the Black Wolf King exclaimed in surprise. "Three of you, don't underestimate this kid. His strength is beyond your imagination. He can kill peak Fiend God transformation experts as easily as slaughtering dogs. He's definitely not weaker than any of you. In fact, he might even be stronger," said Lin Yashan gravely. The Black Wolf King said nonchalantly, "Old man Lin, you're really getting worse and worse. How strong can a mere middle-stage Fiend God transformation stage cultivator be? The reason he can kill peak Fiend God transformation experts is because of his rank 6-star soldier. Is it a rank 6-star soldier? Me, Yang Xiuya, and the ancient devil all have rank 6-star soldiers. And we're all half-step ancient star transformations. If I want to kill peak Fiend God transformation experts, I only need one move." The ancient demon of the void and Yang Xiuya both nodded. The three of them were all half-step ancient star transformations experts. If Huxley's experts didn't appear, they could be said to be the strongest experts in the Hushu realm. No one could compete with them. They all had their own pride, so when they discovered that Zhuan's cultivation wasn't very high, they didn't care too much. They even thought Lin Yashan was making a big fuss over nothing. Hearing this, Lin Yashan calmed down. The Black Wolf King's words weren't without reason. Zhuan's previous performance was mostly due to the power of the purple-gold divine sword. His own strength wasn't particularly outstanding. Yang Xiuya and the other two were all experts with rank 6-star soldiers. No matter how strong this Zhuan was, The difference between them and him was too great. This battle, no matter how one looked at it, was one-sided. "Old Man Lin, do you want me to help you kill this brat?" the Black Wolf King asked, looking askance at Lin Yashin. Lin Yashin hurriedly shook his head and said, "I still have a use for this kid. Don't kill him. It's best if you capture him alive." That's right, this kid's array Dao level has also reached heaven-breaking level 9. To be safe, the three of you should work together. I will support you from the side with an array. The moment these words came out, the expressions of Yang Xiuya and the other two became solemn. Heaven-breaking level 9 divine array masters were simply too rare. In the vast Hushu realm, apart from Huxley, Lin Yashin was the only heaven-breaking level 9 divine array master. Now, another one appeared. Furthermore, he looked very young. His potential was much greater than Lin Yashin's. Yang Xiuya and the other two also finally understood why Lin Yashin wanted to capture him alive. Wasn't the goal to firmly control this kid? So what if you're a heaven-breaking level 9 divine array master? In terms of actual combat, divine array masters are far inferior to cultivators. If I want to take him down, why would I need your help? The Black Wolf King didn't listen to Lin Yashin's suggestion at all. Its 4 hooves stomped on the air and turned into a streak of black lightning, charging toward Jun. Lin Yashin's expression was ugly. This Black Wolf King was seriously too unruly. Even if it was restrained by the summoning scroll, it simply turned a deaf ear to her words and did as it pleased. However, after thinking of the Black Wolf King's powerful strength, Lin Yashin's heart relaxed a little. He thought that the Black Wolf King should be able to take down Zhuan. In the blink of an eye, the Black Wolf King's massive body appeared before Zhuan's eyes. It was like a black bridge that spanned between heaven and earth, extremely visually impactful. Since Old Man Lin has spoken, then I will be merciful and not kill you. I will only cripple your cultivation. You must remember to be grateful. The Black Wolf King looked down at Zhuan. Its steel-like right claw suddenly slammed down, crushing down on Zhuan's head. The Black Wolf King was too powerful. With a single swipe of its claw, heaven and earth changed color, the sun and moon dimmed, and the surrounding space shattered like glass. Zhuan's expression changed slightly. This Black Wolf King was indeed a half-step ancient star transformation expert. Its strength was much stronger than the middle-aged scholar and the others. Heaven and Earth Primordial Line. Chapter 40:18. Rumble. The terrifying purple-gold sword Qi collided with the Black Wolf King's right claw. Then, under the Black Wolf King's shocked gaze, he was forced to retreat several thousand meters before he managed to stabilize himself. The terrifying sword Qi was dispersed by him, but his right claw was dripping with blood. He looked rather miserable. Zhuan frowned. The primordial sliver of heaven was one of his most powerful divine abilities. Combined with the purple-gold divine sword, its power was terrifying. Yet, it had only lightly injured the Black Wolf King. Yang Xiuya and the ancient demon of the void were dumbfounded. The two of them had fought the Black Wolf King before. They knew that the Black Wolf King was a peerless greater demon with an unparalleled physical body. It was said that he had cultivated to the point where he could withstand an attack from an early-stage ancient star transformation expert. When they had fought the Black Wolf King, the most troublesome thing had been the Black Wolf King's terrifying physical body. Now, the Black Wolf King's right claw had been injured by a mid-stage demonic transformation cultivator. This was inconceivable. You dare to injure me? The Black Wolf King clutched his injured right claw, his eyes bloodshot. He was the noble Black Wolf King, a peerless greater demon. Today, he had been injured by a human cultivator who was weaker than him. This was a great humiliation. I'm going to kill you. Zhuan's expression was cold. Wielding the purple-gold divine sword, he took a step forward and appeared in front of the Black Wolf King. At the same time, he formed a seal with his left hand. With him as the center, a square-shaped barrier appeared. Formation in one step. Lin Yashin could not help but exclaim when he saw that Zhuan had only taken a step forward and an invisible, transparent array had formed around him. Moreover, it was a heaven-breaking Tier 9 trap formation. Yang Xiuya and the ancient demon of the void were also shocked. Although they weren't divine array masters, they still had some understanding of formations. Generally speaking, those who could form formations in one step were top-tier divine array masters. For example, Lin Yashan was a Formation Dao divine master at the early stage of heaven-breaking stage 9. He could also set up a formation in one step, but he could only set up a formation below heaven-breaking stage 9. And if he wanted to set up a heaven-breaking rank 9 grand array, he would need at least several steps of time. Compared to Zhuowen's one-step formation, it was too far off. When Lin Yashan tried to break the formation, his face turned completely pale. This was because he discovered that Zhuowen's entrapment formation was actually a heaven-crushing Tier 9 intermediate spell formation. This formation was even more powerful than his own. He was well aware of what this meant. Zhuowen's Array Dao level was at least above mid-stage Shattering Heaven Tier 9, and it might even be peak Shattering Heaven Tier 9. Impossible! When he first came down from the Formation Pagoda, his Formation Dao level was only around Heaven Breaker level 8. How could he have risen to the peak of Heaven Breaker level 9 in such a short time? Lin Yashan was almost incoherent. What Lin Yashan did not expect was that Zhuowen's comprehension ability far exceeded his imagination. In less than a month's time in the Formation Dao Imperial Book Pavilion, Zhuowen had completely advanced from heaven-crushing level 8 to the terrifying heaven-crushing level 9 in one go. Yang Xiuya and the ancient demon of the void also had ugly expressions. It seemed that this ordinary young man's Array Dao level was actually so high. Lin Yashan, hurry up and break this entrapment formation. The Black Wolf King might not be able to deal with this person. The ancient demon of the void hurriedly said. The Black Wolf King's Array Dao level was at the peak of heaven-breaking stage 9 coupled with Zhuowen's powerful strength. They were already starting to lose confidence in the Black Wolf King. Lin Yashan wiped the cold sweat on his forehead and said, I'm breaking the formation. It will take a while. You guys wait. He could still break a mid-stage heaven-breaking stage 9 grand array, but it would take a lot of time. While Lin Yashan was breaking the formation, Yuan was already fighting with the Black Wolf King. Brat, you're courting death. The Black Wolf King was furious. He didn't dare to be careless. He suddenly stood up like a human and transformed into his werewolf form. At the same time, a huge bronze hammer appeared in the Black Wolf King's hands. Boom! The Black Wolf King roared at the sky. He gripped the bronze hammer tightly with both hands and smashed it toward Tun. A stage 6 astral soldier? Zhuon could naturally tell that the bronze hammer's aura was definitely not weak. It was actually a stage 6 astral soldier. Moreover, during the process of fighting with the Black Wolf King, Zhuon discovered that the energy used by the Black Wolf King wasn't the power of gods and demons. Instead, it was something even more powerful. Bang! The purple gold divine sword and the bronze hammer fiercely collided. Instantly, sparks flew everywhere like dazzling fireworks. It was extremely dazzling and resplendent. Zhuowen groaned and involuntarily retreated dozens of steps. His expression became quite grave. The Black Wolf King, on the other hand, was as unmoving as a mountain. He looked at Zhuowen with a cold smile and said, Brat, that's all you've got. You're just relying on a stage 6 astral soldier. Watch how I destroy you today. As he said this, the Black Wolf King charged forward again. Meanwhile, a huge projection of a god and demon appeared behind him. The Black Wolf King released his god and demon, and his aura instantly soared by more than several times. Destroy me? Black Wolf King, the one who's truly courting death is you. Zhuon shook his head. He no longer suppressed the god and demon in his body. Suddenly, a rolling purple energy pillar soared into the sky. A huge purple divine tree that seemed to connect heaven and earth appeared in the void behind Tun. On the purple divine tree, there were many ripe purple fruits growing. Meanwhile, Zhuowen's aura also soared by hundreds and thousands of times, and it instantly overshadowed the Black Wolf King. In the instant that the Black Wolf King charged in front of Zhuowen, a purple fruit on the purple divine tree cracked, and a god and demon with 3 heads and 6 arms emerged from within. This god and demon's aura was too terrifying. As soon as it appeared, it sprinted through the air and charged toward the god and demon behind the Black Wolf King. Die! Zhuan's eyes were cold. Several hundred divine sense sword intense suddenly slashed out from his glabella and rushed into the Black Wolf King's glabella. At the same time, he had already prepared several heaven-crushing Tier 9 slaughter formations, and they were instantly activated. Rolling, killing, intent, and terrifying energy ripples burst forth, completely engulfing the Black Wolf King. The Black Wolf King finally realized that something was wrong. The several heaven-crushing Tier 9 slaughter formations around him posed a huge threat to him. The Black Wolf King was very decisive. He immediately used his movement technique and planned to retreat first. However, right at this moment, several hundred divine sense sword intense suddenly rushed into his glabella, causing him to falter. He was immediately enveloped by the surrounding slaughter formations. You actually know a divine sense mystic technique. The Black Wolf King was caught off guard, and his divine sense was immediately severely wounded by the divine sense sword intense. He spat out a mouthful of blood and glared at Zhuan with shock and fury. Unfortunately, the slaughter formations had already been activated. He could only roar and passively defend himself against the terrifying slaughter formations around him. Is this the power of a half-step ancient star transformation cultivator? Zhuan shook his head and formed an incantation gesture, completely detonating the slaughter formations. The Black Wolf King howled in agony. His entire body was blasted beyond recognition. He struggled to escape from the explosion, but a streak of purple light quickly shot toward him. In the blink of an eye, this streak of purple light pierced through the Black Wolf King's glabella. The Black Wolf King's eyes were fixed on the slowly approaching figure in front of him. Even now, he still couldn't believe that he would die here, at the hands of this young man. Who are you? Before the Black Wolf King died, it asked unwillingly. He was too arrogant. When he attacked Zhuan, he didn't even ask for Zhuan's name. Thus, he still didn't know who Zhuan was. Chapter 4019. Kakaka. Lin Yashan formed a seal with both hands and finally managed to break through Zhuan's transparent barrier. But before he could rejoice, he discovered that there were even more powerful heaven-crushing Tier 9 arrays within the trap array. His face instantly became incomparably pale. He finally understood how big the gap between him and Zhuan was. He'd finally managed to break through one array, but Lin Yashan had already set up multiple arrays. Given the speed at which Zhuan was setting up arrays, he simply couldn't keep up. At that moment, the Black Wolf King's blood-curdling screams rang out from within the array. Lin Yashan was shocked to discover that the Black Wolf King had fallen from the sky and was no longer breathing. At the same time, the Black Wolf King's God-Fiend was also defeated by the three-headed, six-armed God-Fiend. Under their terrified gazes, the God-Fiend devoured the Black Wolf King's God-Fiend. Is this guy a monster? The Black Wolf King died just like that? The ancient demon of the void was dumbfounded. He looked at Zhuan with eyes full of fear. Even Yang Xiuya, who had always been very calm, had a trace of strangeness and fear surging in the depths of his calm eyes. Old man Lin, I can't help you today. I'll take my leave first. The ancient devil of the ancient void was already thinking of retreating. He cupped his fists at Lin Yashan and immediately fled. Ancient devil, Lin Yashan's expression changed drastically. He hadn't expected the ancient devil to flee so decisively. What was he going to do now? After all, it was the Lin family who had provoked Zhuan first. Even if he knelt and begged for mercy, Zhuan probably wouldn't forgive him. And now, he only had 3 half-step ancient star transformation experts to rely on. If they didn't even dare to face off against Zhuan, how could the Lin family fight against Zhuan? After Zhuan killed the Black Wolf King and took his spirit ring, he discovered that the ancient devil had already fled. You want to run? You'd better stay. Zhuan shook his head. He took out an array flag and threw it into the void. Immediately, an invisible barrier appeared in the surrounding area, as if there was a transparent piece of glass separating the area from the outside world. Of course, the toughness of this invisible barrier far exceeded that of glass. Bang! The ancient void demon, who had been fleeing, was immediately stopped by this invisible barrier. With an ugly expression, he turned around and coldly looked at Juan in the sky above the Lin clan mountain range. He said in a deep voice, "Fellow Taoist, the grudge between you and the Lin clan has nothing to do with me. Why are you stopping me?" Juan sneered and said, "Weren't you very cocky just now? He didn't even put me in his eyes. What's going on now? You don't even dare to make a move, and you want to run away like a stray dog." The ancient devil of Taishu's face immediately darkened. He was a peerless great devil of his generation and was famous in the Heshu realm. When had he ever been humiliated like this? "Brat, you will pay for your rudeness." The ancient demon Taishu snorted coldly as a vast aura surged around him like a vast ocean. "Yang Xiuya, this brat is not simple. Let's work together to kill him." The ancient devil of Taishu slowly walked to a spot not far from Lin Yashan and looked at Yang Xiuya. When he saw the Black Wolf King die at the hands of Zhuan, he knew that Zhuan was extremely difficult to deal with. He had to work together with Yang Xiuya to have a chance of victory. "I have the same intention." A terrifying aura surged from Yang Xiuya's body. The battle intent in his eyes burned more and more fiercely like a ball of fire. Seeing that Yang Xiuya and the ancient devil of Taishu had reached an agreement, Lin Yashan heaved a sigh of relief. Yang Xiuya and the ancient devil of Taishu had always been at odds. He was worried that the two would not be willing to work together. Now that the Black Wolf King was dead, the two of them had joined forces. This was a blessing in disguise for Lin Yashan. With the strength of Yang Xiuya and the ancient devil of Taishu, this Dao rune cannot be dealt with no matter how strong it is. This brat is too arrogant. He's dead for sure. Lin Yashan sneered. Yang Xiuya hovered in the air. He stomped his right foot, and a rumbling sound came from beneath his feet. Immediately after, a terrifying cloud ring erupted from his feet. As for Yang Xiuya, he was like an arrow that had left the bow as he shot out explosively. At the same time, he unleashed his own god fiend. Yang Xiuya's godly demon was a martial divine cultivator wearing a large robe. Its entire body shone with a blazing golden light, as if it was plated with gold. The ancient devil of Taishu also released his godly demon. His godly demon was a large expanse of black fog. In the depths of the black fog, a pair of scarlet eyes erupted with a blazing red light. The two half-step ancient star transformations used all their strength to attack Zhuan. They did not show any signs of holding back. Both Yang Xiuya and the ancient devil of Taishu had extremely powerful rank 6 astral weapons. Yang Xiuya's rank 6 astral weapon was a pair of silk gloves, while the ancient devil of Taishu's was a large blade burning with black flames. Martial divine fist. Yang Xiuya's aura was too terrifying. He merged with his godly demon, and his strength soared to an extremely terrifying level. Then he punched out, and divine power poured out in torrents. The ancient devil of Taishu let out a piercing howl. He clasped his hands together and slashed out with his large blade. Instantly, terrifying black flames surged into the sky. Then, a terrifying blade of light broke through the black flames and slashed toward Zhuan. The two attacks were too terrifying. When they were unleashed together, it was as if the entire sky would collapse. Lin Yashan watched this scene from afar. His face paled in fright, but his heart was wild with joy. In his opinion, with these two terrifying attacks combined, Zhuan would be heavily injured even if he did not die. Zhuan's eyes were cold. He did not seem to see these two attacks. The purple divine tree floating behind him suddenly emitted a blazing purple divine light, forming a purple barrier around Zhuan. Immediately after, the ancient devil of Taishu and Lin Yashan's attacks slammed into the purple barrier formed by the purple divine tree. Then, the ancient devil of Taishu and Yang Xiuya were shocked to find that their full-strength attacks were unable to break through the purple barrier. How is this possible? The ancient devil of Taishu and Yang Xiuya cried out in shock. Zhuan's gaze also revealed a trace of strangeness. After this period of time, he had become somewhat familiar with his godly demon. However, this was the first time he had actually used it. The power of this godly demon was so strong that it made him feel terrified. The full-powered attacks of two half-step ancient star transformation experts had been easily blocked by the divine tree. With a thought from Zhuan, the 4 purple fruits on the divine tree burst open, and 4 3-headed, 6-armed godly demons charged out. Roar! Chapter 40-20. How is this possible? Your god fiend can actually give birth to new god fiends. Yang Shuya was truly shocked. Zhuowen's god fiend was simply too strange. Not only was it a very strange tree, but it could also give birth to new god fiends. This simply went against the principles of the god fiend transformation. However, Yang Xiuya and the ancient void demon didn't even have time to be shocked because the 2 3-headed, 6-armed god fiends had already arrived in front of them and unleashed terrifying attacks. So strong. Yang Xiuya and the ancient void demon were immediately suppressed by the 2 god fiends. They were both shocked and furious. Furthermore, the 2 of them were horrified to discover that these 2 god fiends were simply unkillable cockroaches. Their rank 6 astral weapons had shattered their limbs, but they could still rapidly regenerate and continue to fight to the death. Today, all of you will die. Zhuan stepped on air and slowly walked through the void. 3 more purple fruits on the purple tree behind him cracked. The 3 3-headed, 6-armed god fiends roared as they charged at Yang Xiuya and the ancient void demon. Originally, the 2 of them were already exhausted from dealing with 2 god fiends. Now there were 3 more god fiends. The pressure on them greatly increased, and they were all injured. They were in an extremely sorry state. Zhuan didn't even look at Yang Xiuya and the other 2. He knew that with the 5 god fiends working together, Yang Xiuya and the ancient void demon wouldn't be able to last long. There was no need for him to do anything. His gaze landed on the dumbfounded Lin Yashan not far away. At this moment, Lin Yashan was truly dumbfounded. He was like an ice sculpture, standing motionless on the spot. When he felt Zhuowen's gaze, his body trembled and he collapsed to the ground in fright. Brother Daowen, I was blind and offended you. Please spare my life. Lin Yashan knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Zhuan. Zhuan walked in front of Lin Yashan and coldly looked down at him. He smiled faintly and said, Lin Yashan, you think too much of yourself. I came to the Lin family with sincerity. Unfortunately, you and the Lin family are too greedy. Now, it's time for you to pay the price for your greed. Zhuan raised his finger and tapped on Lin Yashan's forehead. Lin Yashan was restrained by an invisible force of array Dao. He could not move at all. He could only watch as Zhuowen's finger got closer and closer to his forehead. When Zhuan withdrew his finger, Lin Yashan's eyes became empty and lifeless. Then, he tilted his head and fell heavily to the ground. His soul had been completely destroyed by Zhuan. When the upper echelons of the Lin family around the Lin mountain range saw Lin Yashan being killed by Zhuan with a single finger, they all let out mournful wails. But more than that, he was afraid of Zhuan. Even Yang Xiuya and the ancient devil Taishu, who were half-step ancient star transformation experts, were no match for him. If that person wanted to wipe out the entire Lin family, it would be a piece of cake. Bang bang. At the same time, 2 figures fell to the ground in an extremely sorry state, smashing out 2 deep pits. When the upper echelons of the Lin family saw this, they all widened their eyes in horror. The 2 figures were none other than Yang Xiuya and the ancient devil Taishu. The 2 of them were heavily injured and lying in the pits, gasping for breath. Lin Longyao's face was pale and his body trembled. He had not expected things to turn out like this. Plot. Lin Longyao suddenly knelt on the ground and bowed to Zhu. Lord Daowen, this is all my fault. If you want to kill someone, kill me. I beg you to let the Lin family off. The moment Lin Longyao knelt, Lin Danshan and the other upper echelons of the Lin family also knelt and kowtowed to Zhuan. They begged for mercy. Zhuowen looked down coldly at Lin Longyao and said indifferently, Lin Longyao, I've already said that I have no enmity with your Lin family. I'm only here to borrow your Lin family's heaven-breaking 9-stage array Dao book. From beginning to end, I've always done things according to the rules. Unfortunately, the Lin family wants to kill me. Since you're willing to take the blame for the Lin family, then kill yourself in front of me. Lin Longyao slowly raised his head, his face drained of all color. As long as you let the Lin family go, I'm willing to kill myself. With that, Lin Longyao clasped his hands together and slammed them between his eyebrows. A terrifying power exploded, and Lin Longyao's divine soul was crushed by him. His eyes were lifeless, and he fell to the ground. Family head. The upper echelons of the Lin family cried out in grief. Where is Lin Danshan? Zhuowen spoke slowly with a calm expression. Lin Longyao's death didn't affect him at all. This person had targeted him many times and even participated in the plan to kill him. Zhuowen would never tolerate enemies who wanted to kill him. Lin Danshan walked out trembling. He looked at Zhuowen in terror and said in a low voice, "This lowly one is here. Lord Daowen, what are your orders? Where are the Heavenly Demon King and Hybrid Demon King locked up?" Zhuowen asked coldly. "They're locked up in the depths of the Lin family's dungeon." Lin Danshan said honestly. Zhuowen nodded and didn't say anything else. Instead, he walked up to the ancient demon of the void and Yang Xiuya and took their spirit rings without hesitation. Yang Xiuya was furious, but Zhuowen responded with a kick that made him spit out blood. Then, Zhuowen took the silk gloves off Yang Xiuya's hands without hesitation. Yang Xiuya was so angry that he almost fainted. The ancient demon of the void was very cooperative. He didn't dare to be presumptuous and obediently allowed Zhuowen to take his spirit ring and rank 6 astral weapon. "Now, I'll give the two of you a chance. Submit to me and hand over your divine soul marks. Otherwise die." Zhuowen said indifferently. "Who do you think you are? You want me to submit to you? What a joke. When I dominated the Hushu realm, you weren't even born yet." Yang Xiuya said arrogantly. "Then you've really lived like a dog all these years. You're still a defeated opponent. Since you're not willing to submit, then you can die." Zhuowen didn't hesitate at all. His right hand formed a sword and pointed at Yang Xiuya's forehead. "You dare to kill me?" Yang Xiuya was still in disbelief. He was killed so easily. Chapter 40:21. Master. The ancient demon of Taishu's face was ashen. He was a peerless great demon and had dominated the Heshu region for countless years. Now, he had become someone's servant. However, the ancient demon of Taishu did not dare to show any dissatisfaction. He stood respectfully beside Zhuowen, his eyes filled with fear and respect. The young man in front of him looked ordinary and his cultivation was not as high as his, but he was so powerful that he feared him. He was completely convinced that Zhuowen was his master. Zhuowen nodded and slowly walked towards Lin Danshan. Lin Danshan hurriedly knelt on the ground and trembled. He did not dare to look up at Zhuowen. The rest of the Lin family members prostrated themselves on the ground and did not make a sound. Among the Lin family members, the one with the most complicated feelings was Lin Fuxin, the daughter of Lin Danshan. When Zhuowen first came to the Lin family, she had noticed Zhuowen. At first, she did not believe Zhuowen when he claimed to be the master of the Sky Devil Demon King and the Hybrid Demon King. She also did not believe Zhuowen when he claimed that he could pass the 100th level of the Formation Pagoda. However, Zhuowen did not refute. He used his actions to prove that he was right. The Sky Devil Demon King and the Hybrid Demon King revered him like a god. Zhuowen had even passed the 100th level of the Formation Pagoda, shocking the entire Lin family. Now, the guy she had thought was bragging had shocked the world and forced the entire Lin family to bow to him. "Master, do you want me to help you destroy the Lin family?" Before Zhuowen could speak, the ancient demon of Taishu whispered. His eyes flashed with hatred. If Lin Yashin had not summoned him, he would not have ended up like this. He would not have become Zhuowen's servant and his life was in someone else's hands. Lin Danshan and the rest of the Lin family members were all trembling in fear. After losing Lin Yashin and Lin Longyao, the Lin family had completely fallen from a top faction to an ordinary one. It would be difficult for them to establish themselves in the Radiant Mist main region. With the ancient demon of Taishu's strength, he could destroy the entire Lin family by himself. "Did I allow you to speak?" Zhuowen coldly glanced at the ancient void demon. The latter's heart trembled, and he quickly lowered his head. Lin Danshan, if you can make the entire Lin clan submit to me, then you will be the new Lin clan leader. If anyone dares to disobey, kill without mercy. Zhuan said coolly. Lin Danshan prostrated himself on the ground and said respectfully, I, Lin Danshan, am willing to serve you. The Lin family will not go against you anymore. The Lin family will belong to you from now on. The rest of the Lin family members also bowed their heads. No one dared to refuse. Bring me to your Lin clan's dungeon now. Zhuan said calmly. Lin Danshan bowed and hurriedly led Zhuan to the dungeon in the depths of the Lin family. He didn't dare to be negligent. The news of Lin Longyao and Lin Yashan's deaths spread throughout the Lin family in a short period of time. Everyone in the Lin family was shocked. Although some of the Lin family members were dissatisfied, under the bloody suppression of Lin Danshan's faction, the Lin family was as silent as cicadas in winter. They all acknowledged that Zhuan was the true Lin clan leader. When Zhuan was brought to the dungeon in the depths of the Lin family, he found that the heavenly devil evil king and hybrid demon king were on the verge of death. Their bodies were bound by extremely powerful restrictions. Zhuan's eyes grew colder. He waved his sleeve, and the restrictions on the two were instantly broken. Lin Danshan's eyes were filled with even more respect when he saw Zhuan's move. The restrictions on the Sky Fiend King and the Hybrid Demon King had been personally set by Lin Yashan. Even a mid-stage heaven-breaking level 9 formation master would have to spend some effort to break them. However, Zhuan had completely broken them with a wave of his sleeve. Without a doubt, Zhuan's formation skills were far above Lin Yashan's. Originally, Lin Danshan was a bit dissatisfied that Zhuan had become the Lin family leader. The Lin family wasn't a family of cultivators, but of formations. They didn't care much for cultivators and only respected powerful formation masters. Zhuan's strength could only make the Lin family submit on the surface. But now, Zhuan's powerful array formation skills had completely convinced the Lin family clansmen behind him. Master, why are you here? The Sky Fiend King and the Hybrid Demon King struggled to their feet. They were shocked to see Zhuan appear outside the dungeon. Master is here to save you. The Ancient Void Demon snorted. You're the Ancient Void Demon? Only then did Heavenly Demon Evil King and Hybrid Demon King notice the peerless demon behind Zhuan. They immediately recognized the latter's identity and revealed a shocked expression. The Ancient Void Demon was a true almighty of the demon race. As a member of the demon race, the Sky Fiend King and the Hybrid Demon King naturally knew about the Ancient Void Demon. They even had deep respect and fear for the Ancient Void Demon. Master, it's just two little demons with impure bloodlines. It's beneath your dignity to take them as servants. The Ancient Void Demon King glanced at the Hybrid Demon King and the Sky Fiend King with disdain. The Sky Fiend King and the Hybrid Demon King were angry, but they didn't dare say anything. The Ancient Void Demon was right. The demon race was very particular about bloodlines. Compared to the Ancient Void Demon, their bloodlines were indeed inferior. Although the Sky Fiend King was also a half-step Ancient Star transformation, he was no match for the Ancient Void Demon. This was the difference in strength caused by the difference in bloodlines. Ancient Void Demon, are you the master or am I the master? Zhuan turned around and looked at the Ancient Void Demon behind him with a faint smile. The Ancient Void Demon's expression changed and he quickly lowered his head. Just as he was about to speak, he felt as if his head was about to explode. Master! Spare me! Spare me! This lowly one won't dare to speak again. The ancient demon of void clutched his head and rolled on the ground in a wretched state. He screamed in pain and begged Zhuan for mercy. His spiritual imprint was in Zhuan's hands. If Zhuan wanted to use it to punish the ancient void demon, it would be too easy. The Sky Fiend King and the Hybrid Demon King weren't fools. They immediately saw that the ancient void demon had been subdued by Zhuan. As expected of Master, even an existence like the ancient void demon has been subdued by him. The Sky Fiend King and the Hybrid Demon King admired Zhuan to the point of prostrating themselves on all fours. Zhuan withdrew his divine sense and the ancient void demon's scream stopped. He struggled to stand up and obediently stood beside Juan, not daring to speak anymore. Juan ignored the ancient void demon and said to Lin Danshan, take the two of them to recuperate for a while. I plan to stay in the Imperial Library for a while longer. If there's nothing else, it's best not to disturb me. After Juan finished speaking, he took a step forward and disappeared. Chapter 4022. When Lin Yashan activated the array formations in the Lin Clan mountain range, Juan had already set up a powerful defensive array formation in the array formation Imperial Book Pavilion. Therefore, although the battle in the Lin Clan mountain range was extremely terrifying, it was as if the heavens and earth were about to collapse. In the end, the Formation Dao Imperial Library survived without any damage. I'm really looking forward to the surprise that the item in the 10th district of the Imperial Library will bring me. Juan's eyes shone brightly as he walked step by step into the Formation Dao Imperial Library. When Juan entered the Formation Dao Imperial Library to cultivate in seclusion, what happened in the Lin clan swept through the entire Radiant Mist main region like a storm. Even the major forces in the other main regions of the Radiant Mist main region heard about it and were all shocked by the news. Especially when they heard that Yang Xiuya, the ancient devil Taishu, and the Black Wolf King, two of the three great half-step ancient star transformation experts, had died and one of them had voluntarily surrendered. The three of them were the most powerful experts outside of the Hushu clan. Their reputations were not limited to the Radiant Mist main region. Many major forces in the main region would turn pale when they talked about the three experts. They were extremely fearful. But now, these three supreme powerhouses had all been killed. Moreover, the one who killed them was a young man who had never been heard of before. How could the crowd not be shocked? Soon after, many forces came to their senses and began guessing Zhuo Wen's true identity. When the news spread to the Radiant Mist main region, Long Duzi of the Longdo Shengzhen, Heavenly Star Saint Lord of the Heavenly Star Shengzhen, and Qingwan Fairy of the Blue Phoenix Shengzhen immediately gathered for a meeting. In the end, the three of them decided to make Hangu Shengzhen the #1 sect in the Radiant Mist main region. Moreover, the three sects also gave many precious resources and treasures as compensation to rope in Hangu Shengzhen. The happiest person was none other than Hangu Shengzhen's sect master, Gui Jing. He did not expect Zhuan to cause such a huge commotion and become famous not long after he went to Minglan main region. During this period of time, he had been busy receiving the leaders of the major forces from the Liyuan main region. Moreover, some major forces from other main regions had also heard the news and came over to befriend Hangu Shengzhen and use this opportunity to get acquainted with Zhuan. Gui Jing silently looked at the endless stream of people in Hangu Shengzhen. Her eyes were filled with surprise and complicated emotions. He knew that it was all because of Zhuan that Hangu Shengzhen had such a grand occasion today. Zhuan, thank you. Gui Jing raised her head and looked in the direction of the Radiant Mist main region as she muttered softly. At the same time, the name of Zhuan had also spread to Huxley's palace on the Sacred Mountain. A new guy called Dao Wen has risen in Minglan main region. Even Lin Yashan, Yang Xiuya, and the Black Wolf King were killed by him? In a huge palace, a stalwart figure sat on the throne. In front of the throne, a trembling servant knelt there and answered hurriedly, "Yes, the news has just arrived. I came to report it immediately." The young man sitting on the throne had a handsome face. His feather robe shone with a sparkling and translucent light, as if it was made of stars. His aura was very powerful, as deep as the ocean. His eyes were very bright, more dazzling than the stars. His skin was as flawless as jade. This person was Huxley's new King Valurium, Luke. Luke was a rising star in Huxley. He was once one of the three geniuses in Huxley. Later on, after he came back from the lower realm, his cultivation had suddenly skyrocketed at an incredible speed and reached a level that defied the natural order. He had surpassed the other two geniuses and finally became Huxley's 9th king, King Valurium. I once suffered a loss at the hands of the ancient devil of Taishu. I haven't settled the score yet. This ancient devil of Taishu is also very cunning. Ever since he knew that I had broken through to the ancient star transformation, He has been hiding everywhere. I can't find him at all. Now that I have shown my true self, it's time for me to settle the score. Luke's eyes became colder and colder. An icy aura suddenly erupted. The servant who was kneeling on the ground trembled when he came in contact with this aura. His face was pale and bloodless. Help me arrange a teleportation array. I want to go to Minglan Main Region's Lin family. Luke slowly stood up. His eyes shone with an unbearable light as he said calmly, "My lord." The servant who was kneeling on the ground said in a low voice and then slowly retreated. In the Imperial Library of Formations in the 10th zone, Zhuowen sat cross-legged. In the air above his head, there was a ball of light surrounded by dense thunderbolts. At this moment, the ball of lightning was twisting violently as Zhuowen continuously formed hand seals. It was as if some invisible hand was trying to tear off the lightning on the surface of the ball of light. Zhuowen frowned slightly. The restriction within the ball of light was too powerful. Even though his formation Dao had reached the peak of the heaven-breaking stage 9, he still couldn't completely break the restriction. Zhuowen knew that the restriction above should have surpassed the heaven-breaking stage 9 level. If he hadn't discovered the flaw in the restriction in advance, he wouldn't have been confident that he could successfully break it. However, with this flaw, Zhuowen believed that as long as he was given enough time, he would definitely be able to smoothly break it. Time passed day by day. In the process of breaking the ball of light, Zhuowen's understanding of formation Dao deepened. Finally, on the 10th day, Zhuowen suddenly opened his eyes. He formed hand seals with both hands and then put his palms together as if he was raising the sky. His palms faced the ball of light. At this moment, the ball of light that was constantly flickering with lightning seemed to have stopped in time. Then, traces of cracks appeared on the surface of the ball of light. Moreover, these cracks grew larger and larger until they covered the entire surface of the ball of light. In the end, the blue ball of light burst open. The ancient book that was wrapped inside also fell and was caught by Zhuowen's right hand. The cover of this ancient book was very simple. On the cover were the words, "Heaven Mending Catalog." Zhuowen flipped open this ancient book. After silently skimming through a portion of the book, his expression suddenly became serious. Then he laughed loudly. It's actually a Formation Dao ancient book that surpasses the heaven-breaking stage. I really didn't expect that a mere Lin family would have such a supreme Formation Dao ancient book. Zhuowen was wild with joy. A Formation Dao ancient book that surpassed the heaven-breaking stage. Even in the entire Hushu realm, it was probably very rare. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.